Greetings, family. Welcome to Pan-Africanism towards Nationhood, building a global Black business pipeline. So yes, family, this is Pan-Africanism towards Nationhood. And you're with Bomani Tyehimba and Kala Genesis. And Kala Genesis is excited because he loved this Wakanda Forever movie. He thinks it's the greatest thing ever. And he had so much fun and excitement with his family that he's trying to encourage everyone to go see it and see how we kill off a man warrior character and turn him into a she-male or turn him into something else. But it looked like you're excited, so
I'm sure very.
Under the bottom of your screen, say Wakanda Forever.
Now, Wakanda Forever.
Family, you're dealing with Bomani Tyehimba and Kala Genesis. So if we're doing a movie review, it's not really a movie review like you think it is. It's us talking about a whole bunch of other things relative, and irrelevant to certain things, and we're just gonna be
We're probably the worst movie reviewers in history
ever. And
we're the worst movie reviewers ever. So give me that warning,
Yes, and all and all of the spoiler alerts, because all those things are.
It's been a month, man. You
gotta prove my point, so you gotta do some of these things. But yes, family, as you can see, I'm wearing my Tanzania jersey. Just came back from one of the most and more incredible journeys of a lifetime, because family, Tanzania is not just across the street or down the block. You're talking about the other side of the world. And I'm telling you, family, from moving our energy from Atlanta to Amsterdam to Kilimanjaro to Arusha to Zanzibar to Dar es Salaam and back, from Dar es Salaam back to Amsterdam and back to Atlanta. We have all those things laid out, planes, boat, transportation, get you around, from one end to the next. I mean, Kala Genesis, you're talking about a logistic genius operation, moving around, a full busload of our brothers and sisters to tropical.
That's why you're the only person I partner with.
There you go, family. The same thing
you're the only person I mess with.
In Liberia and things like that. But if you're talking about master planner, that's what we show you we can pull off and things like that. And you're talking about a mix of experience that we give people: roots, culture, nightlife, shopping, networking, and some itineraries more than others, business investment. And then if you're talking about Ghana and Liberia, we're talking about land, real estate development, our future enterprises. You're talking about connections we have on the ground to help you live and do business in those countries. So this is one wonderful experience. Tanzania got Zanzibar Island, so you can enjoy a wonderful paradise. Then you have Arusha, you're up in the mountains. You can enjoy all those wonderful things in the mountains, from the coffee experience to climbing mountains to this literally just enjoying the atmosphere, and you're just exploring different parts of a beautiful country. And the same thing when we go to Liberia, Ghana, any other country. Family, the goal is to give you a journey that takes you around the country, takes you back into time. I'm one of them people, like in Tanzania, there's 4 museums that cross our path. The Arusha Declaration Museum, the Natural History Museum, that's in Arusha, and then Dar es Salaam, there's the National Museum, and then also the Village Museum. 4 great museums, and one of the parts of our roots and culture journey, these are the things that we connect to and try to encourage people to connect to the history, go to the museum. The thing of it is, when you have all these historical places that you're building, if you don't have people coming, you're going to eventually shut down or something like that. So we just encourage the energy. That's just how we do our schedule and itinerary, and infuse certain shopping, certain movements around. And as journeys and itineraries grow, what you do is you keep on, adding the greatness to it little by little. Next you have an incredible itinerary. So family, this is the flyer for our Journeys of a Lifetime coming up. You have Ghana, December 24th to January 5th. Senegal and the Gambia, March 30th to April 10th, 2023. Ghana, May 24th to June 5th. Then you have Rwanda, July 20th to the 30th. Then we're back in Tanzania, November 16th to the 27th. And we have South Africa, December 24th to January 4th. And then Liberia, March 29th to April 20th 24. That's April 9th, 2024. So that is a schedule for next year and the beginning of 2024 to take you on that historical journey to Africa, so you can just get a nice experience. And it's one of those things where once you experience this experience, it gives you just a lot more clarity on how you feel about moving around, because you're gonna see certain things, and and that's the goal is to connect you to where you can experience an experience of a lifetime. And I always tell people, just come, enjoy the incredible itinerary we have set up, go with the flow, uh, enjoy the wonderful energy of things going on. The only drawback is always going to be, moving around, flights, buses, and things like that. Moving around where you are. So that's your lows. But as far as this, being in a wonderful energy where you're eating some good food and you just enjoying entertainment, and you just enjoy being able to kick back and just connect to an energy. That's it right there. So that's what we do, family. So right there on the website links, lots of videos on YouTube, lots of photos on Facebook and Instagram and network like that, all to let you just see what we're doing. And then here we are, available. My number, email address, website, all those details are also scrolling across the bottom, ready for you to connect to this wonderful experience. And you can just call or text me your information, and I'll reach out to you and just view the details. And we always got conference calls, and we always go over these things to get you prepared. We have a lot of preparation information that we have that we go through. So we always tell everybody, join us. And like, even for example, tomorrow we have a nice conference call at 7:00. And those are the details. Once you're on our website, you see those details. You can also request that information. But that's what we do, get you prepared for traveling to Africa, also living and doing business. So it goes beyond just a journey. For those who want those things, the network is there for you. So family, this is an experience. 16 strong years we're celebrating. When you need to connect to Africa and you need these things done, there's no time for amateur hour, because when you're on a continent, it's not like you're in America where all these things are, you have all this great infrastructure, you have all these things. So you have to have organized game plans to just make sure people are in the right area and can move around and everything. So family, so that's a 7 wonderful journey of a lifetime. And then the bonus for those who want to come to Ghana with us, and then eventually Liberia, they'll see one of these projects. But that is, you got it right here. Our Black Star Pan-African community, brother. And brother, this is our 3rd year we're celebrating it, and 50 members strong. And I tell people, within 3 years, you spend your time building public relations, you spend your time making sure everything is legally in place, organized, building out a great game plan. And now, we have a full 50 acres, to where we have a bunch of people can start building, and then we have this wonderful 60 acres. And that is for current expansion for those who want to do the same thing that they see in the pictures over here. Just break ground and start building. And got a whole lot of wonderful things that we can put in the 60 acres. It's a self-sufficient ecosystem where you have all of your, when me and Kala talk about Black African infrastructure, you want to build the quality of life that you need, your medical center, your education center, training center.
Can I interrupt you for 1 second, Bomani, and say something? Okay.
Our guide, brother. Absolutely.
Point was made today about, I was asked, Kala, where's the nation built? And I said, look, part of the BAIO, part of the Afrikstan is the community that we're developing in Africa. I never promised nobody a full-on nation state, knowing the state of mind Black people in. But we can build communities, and when we build enough of them, we can have a sense of autonomy, our own municipalities, our own independence, our own way to go to and fro and settle, build, and everything. That's what the Afrikstan is all about, And then one day, maybe not in our lifetime, with thing where the diaspora can have a fully complete independent state of their own over a generation, That's what we call the journey home. But if people don't take time to read the BAIO, read what we're about, and they make this statement, you said you're going to build a nation and you haven't done it yet and whatnot. When people make stupid, ignorant statements like that.
I heard that today when you were talking today. I heard that. What was that about?
No, just basically, okay, if you criticize Dr. Umar Johnson, what have you done? What have you done? People always talk about what you're doing, not what you accomplished. I put my accomplishments up when they're done. No, my accomplishments will speak for themselves. And then when I do accomplish, it don't give me the right, like I'm sitting on high, being able to condemn everybody, blah, 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 because I've accomplished something. Even if I'm accomplished something, I gotta still be humble. That's the difference between me and everybody else, and a lot of other people. You too, because you're a very humble brother, despite the fact that you accomplished a whole lot and very impressive. So we're gonna talk about that tonight too. In addition to the Wakanda movie flop, was flop, but it made a lot of money. But I'm gonna tell you why I don't think like the movie, why it still made a lot of money, because there's something deeper here. There's an affection for Africa growing among African Americans, and we don't need freaking gurus and everybody else. There's more people coming into this movement and everything, and if you're in the mainstream, you're representing us and whatnot. And I'm sick and tired of the people in the Pan-African movement when they get on the mainstream platform sounding dumb and ignorant, and we're making it sound like we're just a bunch of dreamers and fools and everything, and they don't take us seriously. So tonight we're gonna clear all that up.
Yes, brother, absolutely. And that's it, family. So as I'm always telling everyone, you're interested in any of our details or information, it's right there on our website, africafortheafricans.org. And my number is right there. Reach out. Let's connect. Let's connect you to an incredible experience and be prepared for a world of transformation. Now, so family, let's get into it. Brother Kala, are you ready to rumble?
I'm ready.
Go?
Ready. I'm ready.
Yes, man. So your anticipation of this movie was, before, you based on seeing the first one, your anticipation was like.
Let's talk about the first one, right? I seen it on opening weekend, right? I seen it on opening weekend. Never
You're
get
super excited.
February 2014. The whole family, everybody, we went all out. We went to Cinema Cafe.
You probably have your year wrong. You said 2014.
No, I said 2018. That's it.
2018.
2018. Okay, I made excuse me. 2018. Perfect. And we went to a stadium. Cinema Cafe is like a stadium. It's like you can eat in a restaurant. You got a table in front of you, reclining seat, drink holder, table right in front of you. You can order food and everything. And the one in Edinburgh, Chesapeake, right? That's a couple exits down from where I live. You got it's a stadium seating. So a stadium and a place was just packed. We had all seats. Every last single seat was full. Packed to the brim. Man, we ordered so much food. Let me talk about the food, man. I had a Philly cheesesteak, wings, fries, and everything. Big thing of popcorn. I had my iced tea and I had my beer. I'm sitting there ready. Yo, let me tell you something, bro. When we did that, right? Because coming up to that was everybody was doing a Wakanda dance. Remember that? The dance out Wakanda. And it was a mostly white theater, right? There was a lot of black people there. It was a mostly white theater. Even the white folks were like, getting into the spirit of the Wakanda, stuff like that. People coming in with African garbs and stuff like that, And so we're saying, man, we're watching the movie, and we're seeing Chala up there, where Chala, when he walks through the thing, he go Wakanda Forever, doing the fist bump with his sister and whatnot. Man, we was like on point. And then the one part when they was like, we're home, right? And they went back to Wakanda after they came from Korea and all that stuff like that, The movie was amped. Then you had Killmonger, right? No, let me talk about M'Baku. And they said, who will challenge for the throne, right? And the last second, M'Baku comes out, right? I was like, who's this big motherfucker, right? And he said, I challenge you for the throne of Wakanda. I said, this is what I'm talking about, This is what I'm talking about. And said, so they fought. He lost and whatnot, And then later on, when Killmonger challenged for the throne of Wakanda, right? This was not in this movie right here. There was no challenge for the throne of Wakanda. They just gave it to a woman as an entitlement, because it's time for a woman, You see how it works? Women don't have to fight, and risk their life for anything, right? The top seat is given to them. Same thing happened in that movie, The Coming to America Part 2. A woman. I know what the agenda is, right? what I was seeing is this, right? Ava DuVernay had a movie that came out and it flopped right around the same time, right? She had a movie that came out like a couple of weeks after Black Panther came out, right? They were predicting that it was going to flop. Vivica Fox, all these people, oh, it's going to flop. People, man, that first weekend, $300 million, right? That's the domestic box office. And then it was like, wow. Then people going back to see it twice. A second time, people were like, yeah, I'm going to see it again. Pushing the numbers up. Within like 2 weeks, is at $500 million, And it was on track to break any sort of MCU single character thing. This really revitalized the whole MCU. First of all, 2 black characters, Blade and Black Panther, right? Brought the Marvel studios back to life, And so, therefore, when that thing hit $1.2 billion, right? And then a few months later, they had the Infinity War, which was like they had the Battle of Wakanda, right? And so I'm saying to myself, okay, the fighting, everything, and the original Black Panther, and then when they introduced Killmonger, right? First time I am in my life where I seen a black man, right, who was a villain, right, and his main thing wasn't pussy, it wasn't money. He wanted the vibranium and the throne, the rule of the world. You know what I'm saying? He said, "Yeah, get them planes up in the air. Remember, get them ships up in the air. Remember that? Get them vibranium to our allies. We're gonna take this shit over." I'm like, damn, that was so revolutionary. That Killmonger character. That was so freaking revolutionary. I was like, God damn, man, I love what I'm seeing. And that pushed me to the idea that when he said that, yeah, man, y'all over here chilling. We're suffering. So it was basically the black African American, with our black Pan-African stuff versus the settled conservative African who just wanted world peace and all that. We're going through that right now. So I like how they took sort of the themes in black culture that they see. And I know probably a lot of it came from what the discussions we had in the Kala Nation and stuff like that, back and forth with Africans and everything. And this actually has been going on for a while, back and forth between the discourse between Africans and African Americans, And so therefore I love how they brilliantly put that in there. I said, yeah, we talk about this. Africans have never came back to try to rescue us and everything like that, So they added that into the movie, the script. It was so relevant to the black world today, And I love the first Black Panther for that, And I was like, wow, okay, we're talking. Unfortunately, the Black Panther movie was so successful, it created a backlash in certain Negro elements of Black America, which the ADOS FBA movie came out. Oh, I'm not African. Then I never heard this before. We were already here. We're Native Americans, All these stupid people groups was a reaction to the Black Panther. The only thing good I can say about this Wakanda Forever is it solidified the fact that, black people are Africans, right? And indigenous people are not people like us. We saw that in this movie, right? Where Namor was an indigenous person, right? And ain't nobody gonna be like, you go to a person. I would like to go to one of these freaking Negroes in America who think they're Aboriginal. I said, who do you identify with? I would love them if it was T'Challa there, facing Namor. Now, which one are you? Are you T'Challa's side or Namor's side? Well, no, you got to pick one. And these people are now cornered, right? Damn, because when Shuri was there and he was telling the story about people, she was talking about, I understand the Meso-Indian culture and stuff like that. She just clearly distinguishing herself as a black African woman from Africa, Wakanda, okay? And he's clearly saying that he's from the Atlantic, South America, Central America, and stuff like this. So the lines were not blurred anymore between who's indigenous American and who's African descent. And I love how she portrayed black womanhood, African womanhood in that way. And the one thing what never fails about Wakanda movie, you always feel that you're on this side and you're on the Wakanda side of things. Now that being said, right, the problem was that they left the males out. I mean, a race war between the Namora people, whatever they're called, and the Wakandans was great. What's up, Ross? Ross is in the chat room tonight. What's up, Ross? Ross is peeping in. Glad you joined. That's my right hand man, the head of the BAIO. in Liberia. This guy is no joke. He's building our organization in Liberia, a real organization, a real thing that's getting stuff done. Okay? So I don't have to go on the internet and fake like I'm doing something in Africa. Okay? We got real stuff going on the continent that's going to change lives in a few years. Okay? And I don't need to brag about it every 2 seconds and everything. I resent people talking about, what are you doing? Shut the fuck up. You know, so thank you, Ross. That's my soldier right there. You know, that's my right-hand man in Liberia. You know, BAIO Liberia chapter. So basically, what I like about the movie was the fact that the aesthetics of Africa, their soundtrack was incredible. Okay, Fireboy, that's my favorite. Fireboy and Burna Boy are two of my favorite Afrobeat artists. Okay, and that girl Nima from South Africa. I love the fact that I didn't see a lot of hip hop beats. They play some old school stuff here and there, in the background. But I love the fact that, just like the first movie, right? When you saw the soundtrack, I was wondering what they were going to do about the music, right? And basically, it arrested something in Black culture. It arrested this ongoing white controlled hip hop, degenerate culture and beats and everything. And you had an escape for 2 hours, the first movie, to Wakanda, right? You're going to hear African vibes, African beats, African drums and everything. It's going to put you in an African-centered mind. That's what in both movies, delivered on that, okay? You're in an Afro-centered environment. You're on the African continent. But still, Wakanda is a highly developed, high-tech country. That's the part we're missing in the real life, right? We basically want Africa, right? But understand that the only way Africa will survive is becoming industrialized and highly advanced. That means we can keep the African culture, right? But we have to modernize. We have to have technology. We have to be advanced. So Wakanda is supposed to be the most advanced, most powerful country on the world, on the earth. Most advanced scientific country on the planet. And so therefore, we have to basically talk about, when we talk about Pan-Africanism, that's what we're talking about. We talk about STEM. You look at BAO. We talk about STEM. We talk about engineering. We talk about finance. We talk about communications. We talk about everything modern and everything advanced and futuristic, okay, as far as like Africa is concerned. At the same time, when you basically are into that, right, and you have your scientists and everything, you can preserve who you are as a people, because you're not basically have to rely on foreigners coming in and building your roads, building your houses, building your industries, the factories, everything. You will then lose your culture. But when you build those things yourself, you keep your culture. That's what the Japanese did. That's what Asians do. They build those things themselves. So it becomes uniquely Japanese. It becomes uniquely Asian. What we do is we basically say, I'm going to stay with our culture, but I'll let a European come here and build a factory for us. And what happens is their influence around you and everything, and the people, lose their culture and a sense of who they are. And then people start mixing. Like the Chinese are leaving millions of half Asian babies in the African continent. Now, I'm not against those people and everything like that, but if you are letting yourself be destroyed by people coming in and destroying your culture and destroying who you are, your racial identity, you're going to lose. That's why one thing I do like about Wakanda, they didn't promote any interracial marriage and stuff like that. But as far as like the second movie, we could talk about that. I didn't like the fact that when it first came on, right, they're having a funeral. And I said in a comment that the movie felt like George Floyd, MS-13, Black Lives Matter, Black Girl Magic, and Step It Fetch It, and all wrapped in one. So I'm saying to myself, and in a way, I was like, when they were coming out, right, and I'm going to talk about this bullshit idea of a recast. They had his picture out there. He died. Black Panther don't die. This is the first time in history that a superhero died. Superman never died. Okay? And they said, well, he didn't die. T'Challa is just basically transformed to Shuri. And honestly, although her acting, Letitia Wright, her acting was impeccable, right? She really, really brought it home when you talk about a black African woman and a black woman's strength. I get that, and I was really impressed, except for that girl that was the scientist, whatever. All the black women, the Dora Jamalaje, did not disappoint me. They were strong, they were tough, and the way that Angela Bassett looked, she looked like a pure queen in this movie. So all the aesthetics and everything was great. But the problem I had was, when the thing opened up, they're carrying a Black Panther mask and everything, and basically saying, "Yeah, good. Now it's a woman thing. Let's bury this nigga and let's take over and whatnot." Oh, Wakanda, woo, party. And I'm saying to myself, and then all of a sudden, all the strong warriors of the kingdom, M'Baku and all those other ones, they're like reduced to the sideline. As jokes and everything. Everything was a joke about M'Baku and all the men and everything. I said, well, what purpose does that serve? The purpose was that, they want to convey that Wakanda, right, instead of being a powerful African state, is a gynocracy. It's a female thing, They could have uplifted the women, right, without having to get rid of it. There was absolutely really no strong male presence in the movie. All the nuances, all the dialogue was done by females. And the only the dialogue that they had, the male, was in Namori and that white CIA guy, So I asked a question. I said, what was the purpose of that? There was no strong male characters. 3 hours. I love my female, my fiance and everything, but I can't listen to her for 3 hours. And so I'm like, damn, 3 hours of nothing but females. Then at the end, I said, like, the information man. Thank you, brother. Thanks for joining us, brother. We got everybody here tonight. I hope we can have a full panel tonight, a discussion on this movie. Okay. And so I was asking myself the question. I said, what was the purpose of just omitting all the males out of the movie, man? I would say it was a good word for black girls, but let's talk about something, right? The girl that played, let me get the cast up. So I know what I'm talking about. So we give everybody a good show tonight. We give everybody Bomani and I are probably the worst movie reviewers in the world, But we're gonna try to do better. Okay. Let's say let me pull this up so I'm saying the characters and everything like that. So we really have a thing cast. Okay. Okay. The girl Dominique Ironheart, right? I don't know if they're trying to. Mine's laughing, Yeah, they neutered the black males.
They neutered the black males.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're like, you niggas, man. They completely say this is what they delivered to the world: a neutered black man. You look at the difference between the first thing when the Baku come out and say, ooh, woo, Remember that when the first time I challenged you for throwing this.
Yeah, that was a warrior movie, but this
movie, this was a love story. I don't know, love story, sympathy. I don't know what it was.
It came to some sympathy, black and brown coalition and
whatnot. I'm like,
Wakanda forever and
Wakanda. It's like Wakanda lost because Wakanda got his ass kicked. Come on.
Yeah, brother. The first attack was rough. The second one was, it was like they was just getting run over. It's like, where's the male warrior?
Remember the part in the end of Black Panther, the first one, right? When they would get beaten, and all of a sudden you hear, remember that? And Baku came out, man. I said, oh shit, it's on, man. And Charles looked over there, he saw M'Baku. He said he finally came down to help him. He's like, and he called the gorillas from the mountain. I was like, yo, that was a shit. And they were doing clean martial arts and fighting and everything like that. That was the best movie I ever seen.
That was a warrior movie. This was.
This was, I don't know. And also the fight scene at the end was garbage. They're fighting on the ship, and some stupid. I'm like, and then
bombs in the bottom of the ship and just blow it up.
Yeah, and I said, then the part when Shuri's fighting Namor, she looked like a whole stick, She looked like a freaking stick. She's like so small and skinny and whatnot. And I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, you got to be kidding me, you know?
And she was getting this beat down.
She was getting beat down. Right? You the Black
Got
Panther.
stabbed with a spear.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm like, yo, I'm like, yo, look, yo. So basically, what we have to do, the reason why there's such a backlash on this right here is because we have to
my
let
whole thing is Wakanda look weak.
it look weak.
The whole movie, weak, vulnerable,
It was vulnerable the whole movie.
And some black and coalition, black and brown coalition saved them at the end.
And what about the part when the mercenaries came in, right? And tried to steal whatever like that. How did that happen? You know, somebody penetrated Wakanda. Remember the guy Andrew Saki, whatever.
Yeah, they had infiltrators. Yeah,
yeah. He said, "Oh, I seen Wakanda. You know, it's real. Diablo, and all stuff like this. You know. Somebody says, well, do you think Ryan Coogler? Like I said, I put the question on Facebook. Would you trust Ryan Coogler to do Mansa Musa? He wants to do Mansa Musa. I'm sorry, man. You know, and then he's a women rule the world. They got dirt on him one night, you know, and he doesn't know what part of Creed.
He's selling out to the feminists.
Something's going on, man. Ava DuVernay, her movie flopped, right? And he got her where, this, that, and the other thing. And she's jealous of the fact that this young guy was able to do this, right? And her movie didn't make it. She's not a good filmmaker. You know, but that's not fair, though. So he feels guilty, and they probably got him into this. What they do? They get you into these support groups with these females where they take your nuts and cut them off and whatnot, make you feel that there's something wrong. It's like, how dare you make the highest grossing film in MCU history? You know, single character. You know, the other Infinity War was a pantheon or plethora of characters together. You know, you had Star-Lord, you had Thanos, you had Iron Man, Captain War, all of them. You had the Guardians of the Galaxy, and you had the Avengers, you know, all together. That's what made that. Same thing with Endgame, okay? But the one that had the single character, right? Just like it'd be Iron Man, it'd be Winter Soldier, it'd be all of them, Black Panther. Because know why? Because everybody, bro, when the end of Civil War, right? When we were walking on Civil War, I was like, he goes, "Let them come," right? And they showed the thing, the Wakanda symbol, and everybody, the whole theater erupted. That was in 2016, right? That was in the December of 2016, right? And everybody in there was like, "Oh, Wakanda!" That right? That all Rotten Tomatoes, everything was basically saying, "Man, this is going to be that was the biggest buildup to the thing." That's why I understand how Yvette Carnell, these people thought they were going to. Even Jason Black, he hated Black Panther. Whoa, Black Panther. But all these people that are anti-African in Black America expose themselves. Oh, we're not Africans. We're Wakanda. We're like that. They don't understand the idea of Black people. Let me tell you. So let me give you a little history, folks. If you don't know, you're going to learn something tonight, right? That's what the Kala Genesis does, right? I don't just read books and regurgitate shit we already know. I tell you shit that you may not already know, okay? The idea of Black people, let me tell you something. The first Africans that were brought here weren't in 1619, okay? They were born here in 1555, okay? On the John Hawkins ship, the ship called Jesus, okay? And they'll say the term Jesus was used, and it was not used in the Bible as I it was called Jesus, right? In the Spanish, called Jesus. And so, therefore, the people, he was an Englishman. And so he went to what was now Senegal. And the Africans he brought over as slaves, he said they were going to work for a season and come back. But when they found out they were enslaved, they found out how horrible this place was called America. They rebelled against it. And they created this image and the idea of a so-called rapture. Okay, listen to this very carefully. The idea of a rapture. That means the good ship Jesus was going to come back and appear around the horizon, right? And take them back to heaven, you know, which was Africa at the time, you know. So that little hidden history, 65 years, was erased from a memory. The first Africans were not brought here in 1619. They were brought in 1555. And some of the Africans were brought here in that 65-year period to places like New York, Boston, okay, and places like that, Rhode Island, and places like that. And these people in that era wanted to go back, and they said, "The good ship Jesus is going to take us back." You know, the rapture. You know, and Christians, we say now the Jesus is going to part the skies, and people are going to rapture us. But the rapture to the Africans that were enslaved in America, the early slaves in America, the rapture was returning to Africa, right? So there's always been this idea, even among the Africans in later generations, of a rapture, of a black powerful kingdom that we fantasize about, that was going to show up on the shores of America and take us home to our people. So this idea of Wakanda and stuff like that was in African American culture and folklore for hundreds of years. So it's not something that this guy Stanley whatever his name is that created. You know, that's the Black Panther is actually something that comes out of African American imagination. We saw that with films with Paul Robeson. These powerful African kings and everything like that. That's how we kept our sanity in oppression. That there was this powerful kingdom in Africa that's ready to rise up and we're gonna rule the world one day and everything. We didn't submit to white supremacy. We didn't submit to America. We never did that. We always envisioned about a Wakanda. You know, we learned about the ancient empires in the Congo, the Mali Empire, and all these other people like that. You know, we would tell our stories of the ancient Egypt and all the stuff like this. You know, that's what kept us sane in this country. So this idea that, that we have no attachment to the Africa or whatever like that. We have a fantasy version of Africa. We glorify Africa maybe too much. Because you see in movies like Coming to America, what they do, we always deify Africans. Eddie Murphy was this perfect guy. He had no flaws and everything like that. This is the way we thought of Africa. We thought of ourselves as great and pure before our contact with the West, with the white man. You know, so when we start talking about movies like Wakanda and everything like that, that really harkens back in something in African American psyche and culture. And we are real Africans, you know, when it comes down to it. You know, that's just a little bit of history, a little bit of history you may not have heard of, right? So you go out there and you do your research and everything, and then you get back to me. You know, say, Kala, you're a real teacher, and I don't charge anybody for it. Everything I've done over the years, the books I've written, everything like that, I've done. I've never charged anybody because I love my people enough to give them something without saying, what you got to give me? Give me your cash app. Give me your cash app. I'm not that type of dude. You want to follow that type of dude, you go right ahead. Okay? So this is what we're talking about tonight. Tonight we're gonna freaking set the record straight for a lot of shit. So you want to start bringing some people on, brother?
Yes, I am. The link is there, so all you gotta do is
my
click
boy
on
Mike Gates want to call in. He said he wanted to call. He texted me. He said, I want to get on.
Right there, the link is there, available. They just gotta click and join.
Yeah, if you want to join the stream, just click on the link.
Make sure your stuff is connected, your audio, your video. Do a test before you try to join. This person's trying to connect and nothing is happening. So yes, brother. Is it Wakanda Forever, your favorite movie?
Yeah.
Was it a nice movie? It was a nice movie.
Well, it was a nice outing, man. It was just 3 hours long, man. It's like, geez.
2.5 hours or something like that.
Yeah,
but the issue that you had is just that, I'm saying, you castrate, the warrior man, the Black Panther, and turn him into,
Yeah, and also, let me tell you about the idea that we shouldn't recast him. The Black Panther didn't belong to Chadwick Boseman.
There you go.
How many Supermans do we have? We had George Reeves. We had Christopher Reeves. Did they say when Christopher Reeves died and George Reeves died, we gotta get rid of Superman? He gotta die. No, somebody else stepped into the role. Now you got a whole new plethora of Superman. To play a role.
So this is some foolish agenda that throws the movie off, and what I'm saying. And then there's no real action power, man, warrior scenes at all. You know what I mean?
Right.
But beyond that, you know, yeah, it's a nice, cute movie.
It's like this. It's like they were so ready to make a black woman the Wakanda. Wakanda was a kingdom, not a queendom, you know? And so therefore they were so
And then my brother, what kind of foolishness this, my brother? How do you kill off the queen herself, Angela Bassett, drowned?
Yeah. The bottom line, it was just something else.
With all of the great technology that they have, and that's it. That's
how the hell did that happen, you know?
And then the other thing that does make it this weird, how you bring back Killmonger and not make him like the warrior that you bring back from the dead.
Actually, that actually gave me some hope a little bit, you know, with Killmonger. You know? I said,
and then you're let down.
Yeah, let down. Then he left. She woke up and whatnot, you know. And then also, I got a spoiler alert about her throwing M'Baku out of the right there. So I got up right there.
Oh, with the spoiler alert.
Yeah, I got up and left and went to the bathroom, right? And I come back, that scene was just over. I said, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see this little 90-pound thing throwing a big M'Baku across the room. I don't want to see that shit. So I got up and went to the excuse myself, went to the bathroom, you know. I said, I don't want to see that shit, you know. I don't want to see that shit, you know. And so, but you know, like I said, you know, we take what we can get. You know, we take what we can get. And so some people, you know, some people will be satisfied with this movie, this film, and basically be like, yeah, you know, we gotta support it and everything like that. And I get it. You know, we should support films, and we should support Black creativity and everything like that. But we understand there's a hidden agenda to a lot of the stuff that we have out there in our name. You know, there's a lot of stuff like this. Do you think maybe contact the CIA don't understand our respect, our romance Africa? Yeah, well, the bottom line is a lot of Africans don't understand African Americans. You know, they understand why we romanticize Africa. You know, because that's what we have. That's us fighting oppression. You know, so we romanticize a place that we don't know much about, right? And we make up names, you know, to connect with Africa. You know, we make up a holiday called Kwanzaa, you know, to connect with Africa. And so that's what it is. You know, we have an affinity for the continent because we lost so much. And the oppression that we go through with white society, white racism, okay? America is all about whiteness, okay? Whiteness is what what made America after the Bacon Rebellion. We basically say America is like this. It told the white person, you could be poor as long as you're white. You're on a white team. So white people basically, who basically may not have anything, would basically chase down a black man or Indian or whatever like that, kill him, just because their allegiance to whiteness. That's something unique in American history or world history, where people are their allegiance is to what their biological and their phenotype is. Because the people that started this program realized that, you know, when it comes down to it, you know, they reduce human beings down to animals. So in other words, you don't see the black person as a human being. You see him as something to oppress, something to kill, something to enslave, and something that you could use for your own benefit. That's what the problem is in America. And so therefore in America, in Black America, something that's unique to Black America, is this idea that the most important thing about us is our color and our race. A lot of our African brothers come here with their culture, they come with their history intact, they know who they are, they know their native land and everything. So therefore, the color of the skin is not the most significant thing about them. And so there goes the problem between Blacks, African Americans, and Africans, right? Africans don't really see color as far as like we do because they haven't been. Now Southern Africa is a little different because although they didn't face colorism and racism in captivity, they were still colonized. But in West Africa, there's no such thing. The people that you're around all your life and everything were black, and the only white people you saw was people who did missionary work, people who were trying to get you into their country, people maybe giving you education and everything. So you don't have the same animus towards the white man as somebody who's a slave descendant. That's why people like Afrodamas, will get up there and say, "Oh, white people and everything," and they love white people because they don't have a history. Okay, the Africans descendants of the transatlantic slave trade is basically in the world history and to Europeans is an abomination. They want to destroy our heritage. They want to destroy our culture. They want to destroy our identity. They want us wiped off the friggin' planet. Okay, why? Because they don't feel any way that we can be redeemed. We can be redeemed because of our slave history. We go. They don't. That's what it is. So when we watch movies like Black Panther 2, and everything, we're doing our part to basically sort of connect with this, and which is very, very important. It's important that when you talk about Black America, right, that they're not confined, like what's the name? Langston Hughes said, the shore to shore mentality. Now, what is the shore to shore mentality, right? The white man, his manifest destiny is from sea to shining sea in America. That's his sovereignty. He wanted that all part of northern Mexico, which he took, which is now Southern California, New Mexico, and Arizona, and all that right there. He wanted all that to himself and beyond. He wasn't satisfied until he marched across this continent, right? And his manifest destiny in colonizing and bringing European colonization to North America. That's who he is, right? The 50 states of the United States, the borders of the United States, right, lower, and the 2 states, Hawaii and other. That's him. People are defined by the territory they control. Without territory, land, you don't exist as a people. We don't control any land or territory in America, right? There's no African settlements in North America, none whatsoever. Every inch of, we tried to build settlements here in Florida and South Carolina. They were taken back by the federal government. There's a movie that came out in the 70s with Muhammad Ali, Gideon Jones, whatnot, that basically told me, right? It's inside the United States, right? And people don't realize this, right? It was a federal government who hunted down Nat Turner. Okay, it was a federal government who basically captured John Brown. The federal government has a thing, So even if you basically rise up against an unjust system, right? Because you are under the laws of a system, right? They have the right to destroy you, crush you, imprison you, and re-enslave you. That's why the situation we're in America is peril. We're in real serious trouble because Black people have not figured out that you're never going to have liberation inside the borders of a country that once enslaved you. Now, that doesn't mean that we have to all get up and leave, but it does mean that we have to build ties to emerging African states. I said earlier today that the Black colleges, right, should form a strong alliance in the sciences and all that stuff like that with African education and stuff like that, right? We have a record number of African students going to historically Black African American universities. That's great. I'm applaud that. That's Pan-Africanism right there. Large numbers of Africans are going to HBCUs. They come in like this. What we need is more people focused in academia on Pan-Africanism. That means building infrastructure, building science and medical and all communicate, all the stuff like this, finance, all the stuff like that. We need to work together across it. And it's not going to happen any other way but on those universities. Okay? One thing I did like about this movie was they went to the university in Virginia. And they basically like this. Universities are where thoughts, experiments, and ideas are formulated, where smart people gather to work on things together. We need our African Americans and Africans who are Pan-African. It's not even Pan-African. It's about survival at this point. I don't even basically call it Pan-African. I just call it common sense and survival. Because if we don't do this right now, we as a race are going to be wiped out. We're not going to have anything for the next generation to build on. You know, so we don't need the whole, you know, spiel about Pan-African. Okay, we understand all that, you know. But now it's about building these the BAIO, the Global African African Pipeline. You know, and this is what we're all about. We tell people join the BAIO. You know, this is what we're trying to do. We're gonna start with country by country. Start with Liberia, Ghana. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna branch up. Well, we're already in every country, but we're really gonna have a program in Liberia and Ghana and several other countries right off the bat. We need to talk about STEM, science and technology, learning, everything. Okay, Pan-African politics, right? Pan-African geopolitics and everything. We have to realize that we are part of Africa now. You know, we are part of Africa. What's up, Mike Akins? What's going on, brother? You know, are you there, Mike?
Mike, we cannot hear you.
Mike, take your mute off, bro. All right, Mike, what are you doing? Are you killing me, bro?
Come on, yes. Continue, Kala. There you go.
So,
greetings, Mike. How are you? Can you hear us? All right. Anyway, Kala, go ahead and Mike, speak as soon as you're ready to speak.
Yeah, Mike, figure it out, brother. You know, so basically, what I'm saying is this, though. You know, I do like about the fact that there wasn't any real backlash as we saw in the first movie. Like, oh man, why are we talking about Africa? We're Americans. All kinds of stupid. That didn't exist in this movie this time around. You know, unfortunately, right, the main characters were not black men. You know, so you win some, you take a loss, you take it where you can get it.
Yo, brother, that's a bad L.
Yeah, it's a real bad L, you know. But like I said, I think that us speaking out about this, right? Because remember something, man. There's a whole agenda that's behind this. You know, it's more than just this movie. There's a whole agenda. You look at Stacey Abrams, you know, Mammy and Amanda, whatever her name is, that used to work for the Bible. Black men don't matter. They'll say basically, shut your mouth. You saw that video with a woman in the back of the car, where basically like that on point technology. Mike always got this on point technology, man. Just, you know, bro, you don't need all that. Go like this. Mike, are you there? That's it. That's his business. On point technology, I guess. You know, that's one of my soldiers.
I'm about to hit remove from the chat.
Hey, Mike, you gotta click back in, brother. You know, want to hear what he has to say, but God, you know, what do we have to say?
This is amateur hour.
It's very simple. Click on the thing, right? And then it'll ask you, do you want to use your mic? It does use your camera. You know? Are you there, Mike? Let's say, do you want to use your mic or do you want to use your camera? You know? It's very, very easy. It's very, very easy, you know? So basically, like I said, there's a bigger agenda to this, right? Is it the fact that there's strong black men in America are basically being dismissed. Strong men that basically stand up, fight, that are warriors, that are tough, they're basically dismissed in American culture. And basically, the only time black men are allowed to fight whatever is when it's against other black men. You know? We basically have never taken the fight. We're not allowed to see the fight against other people who don't look like us. That first movie, the Black Panther was like, okay, we're gonna take over the world, stuff like that. This movie, we're on the defense. Somebody's trying to take us over. You know, the bad guy Killmonger came in the first one. Yeah, we're gonna take over this world. And we said, no, we don't want to do that right now, like that. And I said, okay, that was a good storyline. But this movie, here we got a guy named Namor, and the excuse was that Wakanda, he wanted Wakanda to help him rule the under. That was a weak storyline. You know, how you gonna come halfway across the ocean and say, let's rule the rest of the world and stuff like that, and you haven't built any relationships with a country before? That's never happened before. You know, if not, I'm gonna come back and destroy you. And why would they write that in, that this guy is capable of destroying Wakanda? You know, that just didn't set right with me. You know, that just is set right with me. That right there didn't set right with me, and I was like, real disappointed in that what you call, So I was real disappointed in that what you call.
Greetings, Mike. Welcome to the call. Mike, when you connect with us, we don't have time for amateur hour. You got to be ready, brother. Are you ready? We got another a scientific analysis.
Oh, let me give Mike a call. Hold
on. Brother, this is not amateur hour. Come on, let's keep doing what we're doing. I mean, it's greetings, Dion. Greetings, brother. Welcome to the call.
Peace. What's going on, brothers? How y'all feel?
Real good. Real good. Break it down.
Kala Genesis is trying to be a movie critic. 1 minute he loved Wakanda Forever. Next minute, he got some other analysis.
The movie, I hated it. Right.
Next minute, he's talking about
the music was good.
Men being neutered. Men being neutered.
And the bottom line, the whole thing is, if it was, I believe if this was like a regular TV show, or like they put it on Disney Plus, it'd be great.
Especially Disney for girls.
This was a follow up to one of the most successful Marvel heroes, and we got a funeral. We start the movie with a funeral of T'Challa. It's funny. I would like to. I want Mike to get on because he's in Chicago with Dion, right? I want these two brothers to hook up, man. These guys, he's one. I'll tell Dion about Mike. I'll tell Mike about Dion. I say, yes, guys in Chicago. He does what you guys do. He does construction and telecommunications, stuff like that. I hope Mike can get on, tonight.
Yeah, I was listening to you, saying he couldn't get on. So man, let me get on here and
Mike,
say a few things.
Chicago, right with you, bro. He's right in Chicago with you. And you brothers, you guys can really hook up as far as going to the continent. I think he's interested in Ghana too.
Yeah, I had a successful trip in November. Had about 14 people. Everybody loved it. Just had a great time. Like got my next conference call with my partner on Monday, trying to get more people. I'm going to Egypt next month. Got about 13 people going there. So just trying to spread, get people aware of going back to the motherland and just learning, I didn't hate the movie. It wasn't as good as the first, but I try not to compare the first to the second because usually they're not the same. Some of your points I see, I didn't really think of it that way, but I see the point. I mean, I think it's just a primer to try to get people interested in Africa specifically. Going back and forth to the continent, I mean, I definitely have a different way of looking at it, but I mean, I think we got to start people. Like, I think people gonna start at all different places, and we gonna need it all to win this fight. So
Yeah. You absolutely right, man. As long as people are going to the continent and stuff like that, you'll have your own reality. Like I said,
yeah,
we need people spread out. We need people in different places and doing different things and stuff like that. Congratulations on your trip. Your tour.
thank you.
Stuff like that. We need people just doing stuff and everything. And people make up their own mind what we're gonna do. We gotta create that energy of people going to the continent. Then you can what we call justification. Then you can justify somebody saying, something. There's a lot of African Americans going to the continent like that. How many of them want to live on there full time? Then the investors will come in and say, "Oh, we're building a subdivision. We're building this. We're building a factory." Or somebody might say, something. I have a company that I'm a junior executive in and whatnot. We might want to invest in this country over here because I heard a lot of people going over there and everything. We can create jobs and everything like that. So there's a lot of opportunity as far as that. But the whole thing is this. The reason why a lot of American companies don't invest in Africa is because they really don't see, and it's like American companies for the most part, except for technology, really don't try to penetrate foreign markets like that. It's like they make their money like cars and everything in America. They whatever. They only go for like the top markets in the world. Uh,
Yeah,
Europe, places like that. But they overlook investments in places like Ghana, Nigeria, South Africa, and stuff like that. South Africa, I mean, for example, when apartheid ended, right? And Nelson Mandela, Ford said it wasn't coming back. Now, Ford was in South Africa all during the time up to the sanctions, right? And then when sanctions were lifted, right, Ford said, something, we're not going back there because I don't think they want to help a black government. So that was a really big blow to South Africa. Black people in America, we got a lot of investments in South Africa. I mean, we brought a lot of U.S. companies. Whitney Houston, right, got Pepsi. And she was part of the Pepsi venture in South Africa. That was almost 30 years ago, in 94, 95. She was part of a group that brought Pepsi, a multi-million-dollar group that brought Pepsi to South Africa. Okay, there was black people that were doing stuff back in the 90s, right? Big stuff like that, and going to the continent and bringing industries and businesses and stuff like that, And so this is not anything new, not anything new. African Americans have been going to the continent for generations, and so what I don't see, right, is the fact that although we have a lot of people going to the continent, although African Americans are interested, the mainstream media completely blurts this out. For example, when's the last time you heard a discussion about African Americans in Africa in mainstream media? You won't hear it.
nah, you don't hear it.
Where
You
do you
don't.
hear it? On social media. Why? Because they thinking this is going to go away. There's no books written about it. There's no magazine articles. There's no front page of the New York Times. Oh, we are even all the drama that's going on in the Gambia, right? You would think some tabloid would be like, oh, look, the African Americans in the Gambia. Let's cover the Bag family. What are these families doing there? They don't. They want to completely. They think Black America, we're the property of the United States. That our sovereignty, like I said earlier, the shore-to-shore mentality, that we have adopted the shore, and they've adopted the shore-to-shore mentality for us. They're saying our Negroes, right? We define them by the 50 states of America. And that's why even when you got black organizations like the Nation of Islam, right? They are confined to the United States. The UNIA, the Boston chapter, the thing, they are basically in America. They're basically the black versions of any white organization. What we're trying to do with the BAIO is saying, look, America is just one space in the black world, right? Let's build in Liberia, Ghana, South Africa, Kenya, wherever, and let's build these things, right, globally. We're not beholden to the United States. If we want to go to Ghana on tour, we're going to go to it. We want to invest in this place, we're going to go to it. That's what's happening. That's why there's a revolution happening. We have to just keep this momentum going because they're not going to report this. They're going to report this. I figured by now, okay, that, black people going to the continent in record numbers and everything, but mine's taking hundreds of people. and everything, that they will say, you know something, this is a trend that's going on and everything. What they do, they gave us the year return, the year of return, you know? They said after the year return, y'all bring your black asses back to the United States and let's get back to work in electing Democrats. You know? You know?
Yeah.
They gave us the year of return. The year of return. You know, 1 year. You know, okay, y'all get it out of your system. We understand, and now it's back to Negrodom in America. You know, that's what it is. So I don't know,
Yeah.
what, brother Mike, man, jeez, brother, man.
He's still trying to get on?
I don't know. I hope he calls in, man. I'm like, dang, I really want to hear from what he had to say.
Yeah,
And
he is not.
huh?
He's not trying to come on. I haven't seen him.
So,
But
Hey, Bomani, I want to say thanks for Godson too. He looked out for my group, you know, just so people will know, you know, that you do what you say, help in any kind of way. So
absolutely. You know,
good
we got
looking
a
at.
full accommodation connection there to help people live, do business, get on, move around temporary. But yeah, the Micklin is you know, our quick connection right there from the airport, and it's just in a nice neighborhood.
Yeah, for
And just
sure.
a beautiful welcome into the country, and there's so many things you can do in that neighborhood the whole time. So I hope y'all had a chance to just enjoy the good times around.
Yeah, everything was proper. Yeah,
did you
for sure.
go
It's
to
perfect.
Gazi? Did you
Did I
make
go
it
where?
to
No,
Gazi?
I don't think they made it over to our land.
Oh, okay.
No, I didn't. But I'm trying to come. You got a trip around May 24th through the 2nd, right?
To the fourth,
To the
yes.
4th? Yeah, I'm working on coming around that time too. So we definitely gonna link up.
That's
Absolutely.
good.
Definitely. Any more feedback you want to give about the movie, the journey through Wakanda Forever,
Um,
the sequel?
not really. I mean, I saw the movie. I think it was too long, you know, but I mean, I don't know all the backlog behind it, but I mean, for some people, that's their primer to Africa, you know. So
Yeah.
I think about the Harlem Renaissance poet County Cullen. I had to do this poem in school. What is Africa to me? You know, so dot dot dot. What is Africa to me? I mean, it could mean a whole lot of different things to different people. So I get the intent. I just hope it pushes more people to go on trips with you
Yeah.
and me. You know, so I just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hope they're gonna get to Africa and they're not too disappointed with the bad infrastructure in some of the countries that we go to. Because I'm telling people, is this, you know, this is the real Africa, the one that it's traveling to me with, you know, traveling to me on, and what you see in movies and things is, you know, it could be a combination of many things. But yes,
Yeah,
open the mind to journey.
I try to tell all the people, I'm like, look, going from Accra to Elmina, I mean, it's a relatively short trip on an American road. We're not on an American road.
About
So it's
1
like
hour.
3.5 hours, you know, one lane going, one lane coming, you know. I
Wow.
mean, but I mean, once you get to, I heard you say it earlier, I mean, once you get through the infrastructure thing, I mean, usually, I mean, you just in like heaven. I mean, that's just what it is. So
Yes,
Yep.
yes, yes. But yeah, yes, family, you know, we'll get there. And that's part of the evolution. That's part of us building, you know, getting fresh land, building uh, infrastructure that's needed and making it work from the ground up, new technology.
Yeah, we can do it. You know, like I said, more people start coming and stuff like that, going to the continent, picking a country, going there, and fellowshipping, and and doing what they have to do and everything is like, because there's a reason why the media, the mainstream media, is not covering this at all. You know, there's a video out there where a white man is in Tanzania telling black people African Americans shouldn't come here. You know, a white man, some
mm,
fat white man like a pedophile. You know, So about African Americans shouldn't come here. When you would not like it here. We got pickpockets, crime, and all stuff like this. That's Mike Akins. What is he talking about? Well, Mike turned off my phone, laptop. Mike's gonna try to call back in.
Good, thank you. Hopefully, tell me get it organized. This is not amateur hour.
Yeah. He said, "Bro, my mic is turned off my phone and laptop." Give me a minute. How your mic get turned off? I don't know.
It's absolutely you want to ship to any popular event. Earlier, I heard you and another recording. You always be dropping science.
Man. Okay.
I'm not sure if they heard you or if they were with you or not. Sometimes you may end up talking over people. It depends on the level of their mindset of who you're talking.
My whole thing is this. Bro. I have nothing against Dr. Umar Johnson. I hate when people try to reduce this to, oh, you're hating on somebody. No. I'm like this. If we can criticize Tariq, we can criticize Jason Black, we can criticize him. Umar's not above criticism.
Yeah, for sure.
He's not above criticism.
People are gonna want to know what you're talking about, first of all.
Oh no, I was talking about the fact that Umar basically is he's on the Breakfast Club, right? And they asked him, "What do you think about Deion Sanders and whatnot?" Deion's a sellout, whatnot, blah 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 blah. He's a sellout and everything. Okay, all right. So Jackson State, the alumni. There's no alumni. We don't support black colleges, right? Where are all the black people that fund the black colleges? Black people with money do not support. Like, I've known this for years. They've been saying for years. Bill Cosby. Now, this is what kills me. Bill Cosby donated almost $100 million of his money to black HBCUs. And at the time, right, we didn't even have the respect for this man, right? That when he made that Pookie and Pound Cake speech, whatever like that. And people because let me tell you something. It wasn't about the Pookie and the Pound Cake. It was the fact that the people that's running Black America right now felt Bill Cosby was in the way. Okay, now you ready for me to Kala Genesis drop some science on you right now? Okay, Bill Cosby symbolizes what? Black male patriarchy. The father figure, America's dad, and all stuff like this, right? So therefore, the people that want to run Black America, this is who they are. These are people that sit up on top of Black America who probably don't have any real socialization with Black America. Most of these people that do Marxist and all this left-wing stuff, anti-Black family, anti-male, stuff like this, they don't have any socialization in Black America. They don't. We're just this abstraction that they talk about, that they think they know about, that they can solve the problem. They'll see you as a human being with individual thoughts and ideologies and feelings and everything. You're just a black people. You're just a statistic, a statistic on a chart. So therefore, when you got Bill Cosby, somebody like Bill Cosby saying, this is my version of Black America. Like white people, like you have Will Rogers, the famous comedian Will Rogers back in the days. He has his version of what America is. America according to Dale Rogers, America according to whatever white man, and America according to Walt Disney. Everybody has their vision of the world that they project out there. You buy into it or you don't. The America according to MGM, Metro Goldwyn Mayer. So Bill Cosby was, when you look at his films and everything, that was his version of Black America. Patriarchy. Female, male, female, right? Bill Cosby did not allow interracial dating in his movies. He did not. He said, I remember, never forget this. He said that he would not let none of his daughters on his show date white boys on his show. That's when they started coming after Bill Cosby. When he made that statement, he said, "Look, this is the Black America I know. We don't have to function. Success is not integrating into white society through marriage. Mike, you there?
Yeah, I hear you.
You there, Mike?
Yeah.
All right. Give me a second, Mike.
Yes. Greetings, Mike. Welcome to the show. Yes, you seen the topic. Give us your quick feedback about the movie.
Yeah. We gotta bet- we gotta-
Hello,
Mike.
Mike. Can you hear us? Let us know if you're having connection issues. You just gotta
No, I'm hearing you, brother.
reconnect on a good day.
I'm hearing you, brothers. It's just we got a feedback.
All right, everyone mute yourself. Let me.
All right.
All right, we're muted. Go ahead.
No, my music not on.
No, we're all muted. You go ahead, so you don't have a feedback.
All right. Well, I mean, the movie I went too crazy about.
All right, so that is not working. Check your audio settings and things like that, and let's connect back on.
Yeah. Now, what I was saying was about what you call about Bill Cosby. Now, Bill Cosby gave $100 million to black colleges, basically all about black education, black excellence, and stuff like that, right? And so, therefore, Black America did not stick by Bill Cosby. If you look at the track record of anybody who sacrificed for Black America, we throw them under the bus. We don't give a damn about people. We don't hold up anybody. The only time we support people when they're doing fuck shit. But when somebody's doing shit right and doing walking upright or doing things, we don't give a shit about them. Bill Cosby, $100 million to Spelman, all these black college HBCUs. We have Robert Smith gave $40 million to Morehouse graduates, you know. Well, Deion Sanders, right? He goes to Jackson State, Jackson, Mississippi, right? He tries to help out. Been there for what, 3 or 4 years now. And basically, on the time that he was there, it did not improve. And so basically, he's saying to himself, you know, best thing what I was saying was when Donald Trump said, you know, something, we're going to basically make HBCUs permanent funding. Instead of basically the black people say, you know something, I may not like Donald Trump, but you know, if our people are going to benefit from this, let's vote. Let's keep voting for this guy. Now, at the same time, right, the black so-called leadership in America were trying to freaking do everything they can to, we don't care about it. So basically, what you just told me is you don't give a damn about black education. You don't care about permanent funding HBCUs. You don't care about investments in science and all stuff like that that Trump wanted to get with Steve Harvey about and stuff like that. You don't care about that because your masters, the Democratic Party, told you that Donald Trump had to go. Now, when you don't have the proper funding for your sports program and everything, right? You want to come back and tell somebody that they got to be loyal to you, well, you weren't. You were more loyal to the Democratic Party than securing the bag for your university. You know what I'm saying? And so therefore, Deion's like, yo, what the fuck? I $5 million a year. I'm gonna take this shit and run. You know, I'm gonna take this shit and run. Now Omar comes up and says, "Oh, you a sellout. All this. I want the black college. We're gonna do it." You know, look, it just angers me how people who don't contribute shit into the black culture and the community always got something to say about it. Omar said, "LeBron do this." He said, "Tell me that." They said LeBron built a school. Well, did he build an independent school? It's not black only. They keep moving the goalposts. And so I'm saying to myself, who the hell is Umar to be talking about LeBron?
He think he's some self-proclaimed king. Self-proclaimed king.
The bottom line is this. And he claims he's like the leader of the Pan-African. Does he ever engage anybody in the Pan-African community? No.
Yeah, brother, you know, I forgot to let people know and introduce ourselves properly. You know what I'm saying? This is Bomani Tyehimba and Kala Genesis. We are the kings of Pan-Africanism and nationhood. Rock on.
Yeah, we're bottom line, we're just taking shit over because I don't see nobody else doing what we're doing. You know, nobody else is dedicated to this, is serious about this. You know, and the bottom line is, if you're saying you're Pan-African, right, and you're representing me and everything like that, I'm gonna scrutinize everything you're about. Because when you get on television and everything and say, I'm the Prince of Pan-African, we didn't crown you that shit. You know? Did we ever take a vote and say, you know, Umar is a Prince of Pan-Africanism? Do we ever do that? No. You know, we have these shows. We have, you will go back and look at the archives of the shows we've done on everything from the infrastructure of Africa. Even when Dion came in a couple of weeks ago and talked about those tires, we talk about everything, you know? Because Umar come in and say, you know something? I got a STEM plan, you know, this, that, the other. He's not adding anything to the conversation. You know, you go to the channel, what is he talking about? He's talking about Nicki Minaj. He's talking about Beyonce. He's talking about Jay-Z. He's talking about stupid shit, you know, LeBron's, Kanye West. You know, if you're going to talk about that shit, man, just say, look, turn in your Pan-African stripes and go over to the mainstream of America.
Hey, but that's what it's not nowadays, man.
This is a national channel.
I am the master genius, and I get to be the critic for everybody because I am the greatest, I'm the greater than
because great. I'm the Prince of Pan-Africanism, you know. And you got people following this guy. I'm the Prince of Pan-Africanism. You know, I could say, tell everybody, LeBron, he ain't doing shit. You know, he ain't doing shit. Dion's a sellout and all this kind of stupid shit like that. Not saying I don't agree. I do agree with some of the stuff he says. When he puts himself up there like,
I'm the most requested of all time.
Yeah, you know, most requested of all time, whatnot. You know, requested speaker. Because people don't know what they're listening to. You know, if people don't listen, he goes there and babbles about shit that we already know. You know, yeah, single motherhood and everything like that. The black male is you know, black male is being incarcerated, you know, and everything like that. You know, that's why this and the other thing. Okay, so what's your solution? You know, so we gotta go out there and do all this stuff like that. What do you mean we didn't create the fucking, you know, we gotta get out there and fucking do shit, you know. We didn't create the problem, you know. Why not work with the black people, the black men that got businesses and stuff like that, and say, look, what we doing? Then he talks about his building where he says, I had to get white contractors. That shows me that he's not really in the community like he says he is. You mean to tell me you don't have a Rolodex of black contractors to make a statement, you know, that we got this done? I had to go to the white contractors because black people, you know how it is. All this fucking goofy shit. But it's just time out for this nonsense. The stuff we're doing on the friggin' in Africa and shit like that is fucking real. We're people putting their lives on the line here. We don't need people freaking playing fucking games and whatnot for their own personal celebrity and shit like that. We don't need no damn celebrity and shit. Yo, I'm a Prince of Pan-Africanism and everything like that. I'm gonna get out of here with that shit.
Hey, Kala.
Yeah, go
ahead. You're a funny guy, man.
I've been told.
But I do have one criticism in a sense. Because I'm an HBCU grad, Johnson C. Smith University, Charlotte, North Carolina. I don't like the little name calling thing that Umar does. I mean, that's counterproductive for sure. But I definitely...
You have to give Katia what name calling.
Yeah, I want to know.
Huh?
I know. I'm saying, give us some clarity as far as what name calling, like the words and whatever was said. Because
I watched it. I don't even retain the things he was saying, like the bad stuff. You know, like he always say the Prince of Pan-Africanism. I don't know what that means. You know, but it's a made up title. You know, so I don't pay attention to that. But on the HBCU tip, not enough Black people contribute, but there are some, you know, like I don't know how we get more, you know. That's one of the things that we struggle with at my own alma mater. just people seeing our people, graduates from like Johnson C. Smith, for example, giving back enough, you know. And I know I probably could, I need to give more myself, you know. I just, I don't know what we do with that, you know. What do you think, Colin? Like,
Okay.
why don't Black people give back enough, even the graduates?
Okay, this is my opinion, right?
Yep.
It's my opinion. I don't know the full facts and everything, right?
Yeah.
Um, I'm not. To be honest with ourselves, right? A lot of us go to HBCUs for many different reasons, right? A lot of it want that experience of being around our own people, okay, and build with our own
Yep.
people, okay. Some of us escape white people, escape white racism and everything, but when we're on these colleges and everything like that, I mean, Spike Lee had the movie School Days. Remember that back in the days? You know,
Oh yeah. Great movie.
Great movie. You know, one of his only great movies I liked. He made a couple of them, but that was like his first movie I really saw. You know, saw it in the movies. Anyway, we have issues in our community, colorism. You know, background divided. You know, and then let's be honest with ourselves, right? We're also basically have a problem with basic culture in Black America, right? The self-hate. Although you're around each other, although you would say we're Black, right? But there's no love, right? So therefore, when you go into a college, right, and you're in class with people that you don't like, you didn't get the girl you didn't like, right? And you're like, well, I can't wait to get my degree and everything and get out. So you go out there and you work in the white corporate world. You don't basically socialize like this. Let me give you an example. I met some fraternity brothers, man. Some Qs, and this guy's called the League of Extraordinary Men. You ever heard of him?
Yes.
Okay, excellent brothers, man. I remember I did an event a couple of years ago at Kerry Park in Norfolk, right? They were giving away clothes and everything. I had the health. I did the health fair part. And I was sitting over there, bro, sitting there talking whatnot. I said, yeah, we'll sit there. And this brother, right? Usually I'm like this. I'm like, I want to be like this, like these guys. I was over there. I was with my sister. We had our thing and everything. We're just talking. He's greeting people, and we're doing our thing. And he comes up to me and says, and it was a bigger brother, and puts his hands out and says, hi, my name is such and such. Who are you? I said, oh, yeah. He goes, well, this is what I am. He took the initiative to approach me, right, and tell me who he was. He said, we are basically the brothers of brothers. We're here to help and everything like that. And I want to introduce myself to you. I was like blown away. Because you know how we Black men are, right? We're just, oh yeah, like that. Even when that, and I felt guilty after that, right? I said, I was raised better than that. I should have been the one to reach out to him first and say, how you doing? And like that. But I saw the camaraderie these brothers had. And I said to myself, man, these guys right here, these guys are exceptional men. These guys are exceptional men. They donate their time. They take their Saturday, go their time and whatnot to basically do all these stuff in the community. Right? So they're the exception. Now the fraternities, right? They do a lot of stuff in the Black community. But look at the Black community. When you talk about stuff in the community, what do they say? Oh, boule and everything. Let's talk about that. What do we call them? The boule, the Black fraternities, or this, or not. And I tell them, do you know the work these sororities and fraternities do in the community? Well, if we didn't have these sororities, fraternities, and everything, these brothers, and the Black churches and everything that do like that, our community would be in a worse situation. So therefore, what we have in our community, right, is one, we don't have an appreciation for anything, And then I told that brother, I said, man, I appreciate the work you're doing, for the community. He said, yes, what we do. We do clothing drives. People come in there getting clothes, poor people in the projects, and they're getting clothes and everything. And I said, man, we need more people like that. These guys run pantries, food pantries, and everything like that. I said, we hold on. And at that time, we were doing Christmas because some of the kids were going to get Christmas presents. We had Christmas presents ready for the children, you know, the parents would give their children. And I'm saying to myself, if that's what we mean by community, and then when you have a community, right, and you're giving back to the people like that, right, you feel a part of something, right, and you feel continuity. The black people, a lot of times we go to colleges and we go stuff like that, right, like that, and we don't feel any connection with the community. But these guys found a way how to be part of the community. I know if they had more money, they would have donated more money. But the answer to your question is this. Robert Smith gave $42 million to the graduating class. I forgot what year was that, 2020 graduating class. Now, when he did that, right, what did people say? He got a white wife, you know? What about the black females? You say, you know, social media has made our community so toxic that people just basically just give up and just be like, you know, no, you know what I'm saying? That's why it's important that we the positive black people, right, always stick together. Because the people that are negative, right, I think Umar is a negative brother. You know, I'm like this. I'm not gonna say anything. You never hear me say anything bad about LeBron. He's taking what? How many millions of dollars? $40 million, and put all his kids in school and everything. Instead of saying, you know something, yeah, that's a good thing. You know, he's down. Oh, it's not. He don't even have a school running, but he's criticizing LeBron James.
Right. Yeah, I didn't like that either.
And then he calls himself the Prince of Pan-African. And then when people look at the Pan-African movement, they said, "That's what y'all about." You know, and this is what the problem is. We got to show a new face of this movement called Pan-African, nation towards nationhood and stuff like that. And we're not these negative people. I'm not going to call the Omegas, the Qs, the Psis, all of them. I'm not going to call them boule. Why would I do that? I'm not going to criticize black people, black churches, and everything who do so much work in the community, you know, with single mothers and stuff like that. Why we create this narrative in our community where we keep attacking each other every day. We create this toxic environment in our culture. And then we wonder why people don't want to participate. Why people just go off and be on their own. So we basically, as a black people, we have to stop this self-hate and all this bickering back and forth. You know, back and forth. And like I said,
yeah. Who's this clown right here?
Have a joke. I don't know what that is. Habibi, you know, probably some friggin' Arab.
You know, the hate is live on deck. Yes, this is from their, you know, the online information right here. Let me see if some of it can play, so we can get back to our wonderful movie review. And yes, Kala, appreciate you sharing your analysis
Right.
of the situation with your arch nemesis. And Kala Genesis opinions are not my opinions.
Now, I'm not. Look, I'm not an arch nemesis of Umar Johnson. I'm a critic. No.
Yeah, I got my judgment of people
I'm
too,
a
but
critic. I'm a critic of Umar. I'm a critic of Umar, Dr. Umar Johnson. I'm a critic. A constructive criticism. You know, whether he takes the criticism to whatever, that's fine. If not, fine. But I'm a critique him. You know, when he goes out there in public and whatnot, he calls himself a Pan-Africanist. You know, if he stopped calling himself a Pan-Africanist, I wouldn't.
he's a prince. He said the prince of the prince, but we're the kings of Pan-Africanism.
We're the kings, you know.
Yeah. This is not amateur hour. But yes, brother. So let me just play this clip. You want to play it so it can rejuvenate you.
Yeah.
So you can do the second part of a real movie review.
Okay,
you know I mean,
let's see.
People were like, "What was you guys doing?" Yo, that's how we do it. We mix it up. It's the Afrikstan Analysis.
my ancestors would often say, only the most broken people can be great leaders. Introducing Namor was really an opportunity to introduce another side. All my life, been grinding all my life. Hustle, pay the price. All my life, grinding all my life.
They came from the water. They had superhuman strength. He's coming for the surface world.
That can't be good.
All my life, grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle, pay the price. One slice, roll the dice. All my life, grinding all my life.
Now is our time to strike. Show them who we are.
Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, rated PG-13, only in theaters November 11th. Get tickets now.
She looks so small, man. You know, she's like a freaking spider, man. You know, it's like what is up with this? Not only that, remember when they made Spider-Man? Why are they gonna make these guys so small and tiny and shit? What's up with that? You know? Yeah.
Hey, super technology. But yeah, wish I could just play a full screen, but that was just something just playing here. The visual effects, the sound, the excitement. Yeah, all of that is all good. So
I don't know.
Genesis,
I
one,
think
1 to 10.
nowadays, bro, it's like they think this. For what I'm hearing is this is like the only woke movie that made any money. The rest of these woke movies bombing at the box office. You know,
Bombing.
yeah, bombing at the box office.
Yeah, what about your other? Yeah, what about Woman King, which was
I
Woman
never
King.
I never seen Woman King, but the whole thing is my whole thing is not about the women, right? It was about the homie. You know, you try to portray the homie. The homie was basically people don't realize something about the homie. The homie was a French and Portuguese outpost, right? A lot of people in the homie when people settled there, the kingdom and everything, married into European aristocracy. People don't know that history of Africa. We're gonna talk about that one night on the show, bro. How many African kingdoms and tribes are compromised with Europeans? You know, okay. People don't realize this. The Fantis, the Ashantis, well, the most of the Fantis, right? And the Akans and all those people, when the Portuguese and the Dutch and everything, they married these African women, and their offspring, they would take them to Europe, right, and educate them, and then send them back. When they're back, with their westernized, they see things from a point of view of the white man. That's what the homie was all about. Okay, so it was a bastardized place, you know, who they liked the aesthetics of Africa and everything, but they basically had no love for the people and everything. And so the homie was just one part of the oil empire, you know, and they were fierce slave raiders and slave traders and everything. Matter of fact, the last slave ship that came to America in I forgot the year, 1860, right? That the people docked off the coast of Alabama was from the homie. So slave trading and raiding and stuff like that went on in these kingdoms and everything. It's nothing to glorify. Under what I didn't see the movie The Homie, right? And people talk about the slave trade and all stuff like this, but the real culprit in the slave trade was the Europeans. Okay. There's some people say, well, Africans were forced into slavery, forced like that. That's all thing. But the Europeans were the ones who basically supplied the guns and kept a lot of the stuff going as far as like the transatlantic slave trade. And so therefore, I'm suspicious of a movie that talk about the Woman King. They'll call me. If you wanted to do a Woman King, you could have did Queen Nzinga. Okay? Although she was a slaver herself, when she saw the threat of the slave trade and how powerful it was, right? She waged war against the Portuguese and won. will that movie ever be made? You know, the Woman King, Queen of Zinga. You know, I would thought, why would they go to the homie? Why would they make a movie about the homie before they make a major movie like about Queen of Zinga? We have to think about stuff like that.
Brother, you know the answer, man. Folks got to push their agenda, man.
Yeah, they got their agenda to push. You know.
Right now, you in this kind of world.
Let me see. I got a question in the chat. Baruti says college in Israel, only 60% of Africans who earn BS attend HBCU. I don't know if we got 168 colleges. I need some more clarification on that. You know, because that don't sorry 16% earn a BS degree. You know, historical Black colleges. You know, I don't know if that's true because, like I said, I went to my godnephew's graduation at Norfolk State. Man, I see nothing but Black kids out there, 100 people. So he told me, well, all the colleges out there, you know, they're getting all the Black students and everything. It's just that 16%, you know, are going to a HBCU graduate. I don't know. I thought it was higher than that. I do know back in the before the movie, the TV show Different World came out, that's what exploded on historically Black colleges. Because I went to a community college in upstate New York, right? And my friends had went to Norfolk State. They went to North Carolina Central at first, but they didn't like it down there because they kept getting into fights with people, down south boys and whatnot, you know. And so then I'm going to Norfolk State. They said, man, forget freaking Central, man, because every time they get fights and everything like that, because the dudes just not like dudes coming down from New York. And so they ended up going to Norfolk State and stuff like that. So a lot of my friends graduated from regular colleges and stuff like that, you know. But then when the TV series, when School Days came out, and then which we call the TV show A Different World came out, everybody started talking about HBCU. Do you know the HBCU apparels was the #1 clothing line, fashion line among Black people, Black in the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s? You know, Howard, stuff like that. How did our culture change so much, right? Everybody was talking about HBCUs. You know, that's Gen Xers. You know, we were talking about Black colleges, Black this, Black that, you know? And so I don't understand why there was shit about the HBCUs. For HBCUs, when I saw Elijah Cummings and Donald Trump said we're going to make permanent funding, and he had all these heads of HBCUs going to Donald Trump, they're all scared, like, and the Democrats were casting, don't meet with Donald Trump and everything. Instead of Black people saying, you know something? Yo, look, we're gonna get permanent funding. We're gonna vote for this guy. That should have changed the trajectory of Black voting in America. That should have changed that, but it didn't. You know, it did not do that. It basically, we basically became, like I said, we're Democrats before we're Black. It's not even in us to think about the HBCUs, because let's be honest with ourselves. When a white person sees their kid graduate from college, right? They know that guy is going to be a senator, he's going to be a business tycoon, and he's going to better their life. You know, create something great. Like when we see Black kids in college, it doesn't have any bearing effect on our lives. Okay. We're not the community that we think we are. Perfect example. Look at Howard University and look at the surrounding DC area. It's a mess. But look at any state in America, state of Indiana. Look at the colleges and everything. The colleges, right, and the graduates and the education system, the high stuff, you can see the manifestation of that. You see roads being built. You see infrastructure. You see complex things being solved. You see, okay, there's poverty. We're going to do this because we have a research and study department in this college to solve the problem. We got grants to solve the problem. There's nothing in a black university that equips the black university to solve that, because all the problems in black America still got to go to the white college. What HBCUs could be helpful at is in building a building outside of America, Africa. You know, that's where HBCUs could be useful. Because let's be honest with ourselves, right? Unless you graduate from an HBCU, let's say in Georgia or something like that, and you get into politics, where black people have numbers, and then you go, but still, it's never a black thing. Black people are not going to benefit if Stacey Abrams became governor, because we don't have the social, political, economic infrastructure to do that. We're still tethered to white people, white America. So the question was asked, well, why do we attend HBCUs? Because, you know, we want to be around our own people and stuff like that. More and more people are going to HBCUs and everything. But it has to translate into the real world. Colleges is one part. Where do you send those kids? Are we running our own commodities exchange? Are we building our own corporations? We're building our own industries. That's why the Pan-African world is so important right now to higher education, because what Africa lacks is the abundance of intellectual capital and break. I'm not saying people aren't smart, but when you talk about higher education, science, technology, and stuff like this, we have some of the best universities. Nigerian college, and the College of Lagos, ranks 80,000 in the world. That's basically on the level of an inner city high school. Now, what we should be doing is building a bridge between some of these colleges on the African continent and our historically black colleges in America. And we got historically black colleges in the Virgin Islands. People don't realize that. And it has to be about nation building. You know, it shouldn't be about getting a degree so we could get crumbs off the white man's table. That's the way it's been for generations. I get a degree, you owe me a job. And we did that for a while. But now you got Mexicans, Indians, Asians, everybody else who are rushing through the door ahead of you. So the only way HBCUs are going to be relevant in the future is we have to turn towards a Pan-African mindset. You know, Dion Butcher said half of African American professionals are graduates from HBCU. About half. Yeah, I figured that. I knew it wasn't no 60%. That don't sound right. You know, but thanks for that, Dion. You know, half of professionals graduate from HBCUs. But even if you don't graduate from HBCUs, we should basically like that. And also, let's talk about something. Just because something at HBCU does not mean it's pro-black. I remember back in the 60s, I wasn't around, but I'll say I remember. I don't remember, but back in the 60s, before I was born, in 1964, there was a big uprising on black colleges because they wanted black studies. They had to fight for that. They had to fight for black studies in black college and Howard and everything, because Howard at the time was saying, look, we want to be white. And then one lady came in and she had an afro. This light skin, she had an afro. And she talked about black power and all stuff like this. And that created a revolution in Pan-African studies, you know? And so then, you know, it sort of fizzled out in the 80s and everything like that, you know, because of a reaction to the Vietnam War and civil rights and the Black Power movement and everything. But it was a reactionary movement. Now now in this day and time, right, everyone's talking about wokeism. The black colleges are not focused on anything because you got people that are not in the dire situations we were in the 60s. So what do we talk about? You know, what's the purpose? You know, and so therefore, if we bring here's the problem with the Pan-African movement. It has never had the support of black academia. Okay, even though every logical assessment, right? That's why I wrote my book, Journey to the Promised Land. And my book is we're going to work on it. It's going to become a motion picture. You know, we're going to do the screenplay, and God's willing, that's going to be a major motion picture. Journey to the Promised Land, Voyage of Bark Azor on Amazon. Get it. And I always wondered, why is it that this idea of building Liberia and building or emigrating and building in Africa and open up trade and industry on the African continent, how come that's not talked about? It's because Black academia doesn't want anything to do with it. It wasn't, it's only a recent that Black colleges were talking about economics. Most Black colleges will talk about social sciences, changing white people, changing race and everything. Well, that was the debate W.E.B. Du Bois and Booker T. Washington had. E.B. Du Bois said higher education, everything like that. And Booker T. Washington said Black people need to master these skills to sustain ourselves. But a lot of there's a disconnect, like I said earlier, there's a disconnect between people who sit there and all they know about their own people is stats and statistics and blah, 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 blah. We need social programs and everything. And people say, look, we need practical stuff. People need jobs. People need industries. You know, we need to basically, in the 80s, Black people were figuring that out. We need to start employing our own people. We can't leave it to the white people to employ our people. So, like I said, we're still struggling with that conundrum. We get these degrees and everything like that, right? But now, let's see, what are we getting degrees in? Social science, you know, communications, you know, all this stuff. And what do you do with your degree? You get a spot on MSNBC, or you got you're a journalist. You know, we got way too many Black journalists, but they don't say nothing. And what do? They talk about. That's why they were eating good when Donald Trump was, oh, the orange man, not building anything, but talking about the orange man for 4 years, distracting us from nation building and building our community and everything. They weren't talking about that. They were talking about Democrats good, Republicans bad, Democrats good, Republicans bad. This is what we have in Black America. We basically become Marxist, woke, leftist, and everything else but building our community. We're not talking about what's going on between Black male and Black females. The Black family, you know, is destroyed right now. You know, we're not talking about these things anymore, because it goes against the narrative, you know. The Black family, if you start talking about building Black family, Black community, you talk about a patriarchy. Down with the patriarchy, you know. Down with the patriarchy. The patriarchy is bad, you know. We have to basically not talk about family. We have to elevate single womanhood. So people ask the question, what's going on with the average Black male? He has no stake in this new community that we have, which is headed by single mothers, right? Which is pro-Democrat and pro-left, pro-progressive. And we don't see any stuff in it. So what are we going to donate ourselves to? Like I said, the only solution is building infrastructure, building institutions of our own for our own long-term gain, sustainability. We don't have that in our culture anymore. You know, and so therefore, I can't expect. Now, when somebody does do something good, right, we should be shouting on the rooftops, right? Robert Smith, thank you, man. Thank you for coming back to the community. Bill Cosby, you know, we're gonna stick with you. You gave $100 million to us. Everything. Do we freaking honor that? No. Because the only thing you think is, well, there ain't no money. They didn't put no money in my bank account. And what that has to do with, it has to do with leadership. You know, it has to do with leadership. It has to do with people when they got an audience or a platform, teaching people what is good and what is bad and what we should support. We don't have that in our culture. And so therefore, when people do stuff like good, you know, Just say, hey, look, LeBron, whatever, you know, all these people, when you donate, hey, that's fine. It may not be what we want to do, you know. It may not be black to the 20th power and black power and stuff like that. But the bottom line is, okay, you're doing what you can do. And what that does is encourage other people to get involved too, you know. Maybe Steph Curry might do something, you know. Now, if you don't care, that'll bother you, then stop talking about HBCUs and everything else. Don't talk about what Deion Sanders is doing.
Hey, brother, you know, you got to do it his way or you ain't, you know.
Oh, you got to do it his way, Dr. Umar's way, or you ain't shit. You know?
You got to follow the prince
because
of Pan-Africanism.
So the bottom line is this. Everybody's going to contribute their own in their own way. The people have the means to do it, the money, they're going to contribute in their own way. But what we can't have is somebody sitting back, you know, these armchair quarterbacks talking about you ain't doing stuff, you know. Thank you, Nika. I ordered Amazon, received it yesterday. We'll read it. So yeah, read the book. You know, read the book. Journey to the Promised Land, Voyage of the Bark Azor. You know, next month we'll be working on the screenplay for the book, and it's going to be on IMBD film studios. You know, so like I said, I basically take my time, and I've done a lot. So I wrote that book, right, because I wanted to give my people something. Okay, so I wrote that book. I said that's a interesting history, you know. Yeah, WB's voice speech. I would like to know about that. But Booker T. Washington and Du Bois had disagreements. And then Marcus Garvey said, yeah, you know, the problem in Black America is not, you know, we're going to have educated people, highly educated, everything. But if you think you're going to solve Black people problem by just making everybody highly educated, it's not going to work. You know, we have to have people in the skilled trades. We have to have people doing things. Now, I saw a video, brother, where it was in the 1950s, I think, or 50s, and it was the Black people who were the first Black people who made it in California, Los Angeles, right? And these were middle class Black people. They had professions and everything, and they were basically saying that they were fearful of the influx of Negroes coming from the South. Okay, they were basically saying, "Oh man, these Black people coming here, they're gonna ruin everything. Why should we basically do this?" So there's always been that in our culture too. We don't talk about that. Black people who made it, right, were basically saying, "We don't want to mingle with these people. We have nothing in common." So they were in a nice neighborhood in Los Angeles, and then all of a sudden the people started moving in. They said, "Oh, I'm moving to California." Next thing they start flooding in. And so basically they said, okay, and they rejected these people as leaders and everything. And so you had a group of people in Black Los Angeles didn't have any real leadership because the Black people who were there in places like Inglewood and had the Baldwin Heights and all that, that had the nice houses and everything that made it in Los Angeles and everything, they were on their own little social club and everything. They say, yeah, we play tennis, we do stuff like this, you know. And these people flooding in here, whatever. And so they were like, man, there's nothing we can do about it. We don't want to be around these people. That was the sentiment of the Black upper class at the time. And it was all over the United States. You know, it's like, and also the moderator was asking them, well, if they could afford it, they said, that's the whole thing. Why give them jobs when they can afford to live where we are? Think about that. Black people saying that some of these people are going to get jobs and they're going to get houses and mortgages and be able to live next to me. They're doing the same thing the white people were doing, trying to keep the poor Blacks out from railing up. It's not even the fact that they're poor. Even when they got money, they figured themselves a different social class. They're like, oh, okay, your money, I don't care how you can live next to me and everything. But the bottom line, I'll never consider you my equal because I got a college degree. There's always been that friggin' elitist mentality in a lot of our HBCUs and graduate class. When you are a people and you're together, the rich, take a little page from the whites, the Japanese, everybody else. The rich and the working class work together in a social contract. There's no social contract between Black America. There's no codes. So when people get their degree, whatever like that, we're very, very rugged individualists. White people, you got to say what you want about them. They're on code. White guy who's a friggin' nuclear physicist will live in the same neighborhood with a white guy who's a truck driver. They'll be neighbors. Their whiteness is what unifies them. We don't have that same culture. The only time we live with each other is when we're forced to. So in the future, we basically have to change that culture. And we change that culture by not the proletariat and everybody else just banging on the so-called Black elite. But let's try to understand each other. You know, let's also understand each other. You know, let's not hate the Black person who has a nice house and live middle class, or whatever like that. Kids got money. They're not the enemy. You know, but some people, we just have to understand each other. And that's an honest conversation we've never had in our culture. The classism, the envy, and the jealousy and everything. This is why we're not supporting HBCUs. That's it in a nutshell. That's it in a nutshell. If you want the truth, that's the truth. You gotta tell people. I seen a sister one time, and she was like, real bitter about how she was treated among her own Black people. Said people call her ugly, dark, and everything. So she's gonna go out in the world like that. That's how Clarence Thomas was. He was bullied and picked on by Black people. So it created a resentment. He was othered. Oh, he's, and stuff like that. So he ended up hating his own race. You have no idea what, then I'll say at the same time, you have no idea what people are going through. And then when they graduate and they're successful, and they think, why aren't they giving back? Well, have you heard his story? Understand why he may feel like he doesn't have any attachment to this place. Maybe those are 4 or 5 miserable years of his life. Have you ever thought about that? And so, like I said about Deion Sanders, we don't know what he went through in Jackson. It's just on the surface. We don't know what else he went through. You see what I mean, Bomani? We don't know what Deion Sanders ever went through.
Absolutely.
He could have went through hell over there. We don't know. We just say, "Oh, you a sellout. You a sellout. You a sellout."
That's sad that that's the most positive things people can get from when you give yourself and dedicate yourself and try to do things with your people and it could just be one thing and then next that's
or they throw you under the bus like typical Negro fashion.
Absolutely, and that's the problem.
Throw you under the freaking bus.
And that's why we have a lack of dedication because people are trying to do certain things. They're like, as soon as I do this and if this go wrong, you're gonna do this to me. But nevertheless, man, we keep struggling, keep moving strong, and you have to elevate yourself, and we got to stop looking for this one savior to come save us and things.
Yeah,
like
there's no, the savior ain't here. He ain't coming.
So the man came there, did his thing, moved forward, count the blessings, move stronger, come up with new tactics and energy. But this Prince of PA always talking these things, and it's all it's all good, man.
All this black
it don't matter to people like myself because
blacker than Black Dow. I'm blacker than Black Dow, whatever like that. Don't know what his situation is. Don't know what his stuff is and whatnot. But you guys stay there. And he's like, yo, you don't know what he's seen. A lot of times people spare people of their feelings. You know, we don't know what he went through. What there? I know about the robberies and the car broke into and the disrespect and stuff like that. You know, and he's like he went over there with good intentions, or he wouldn't have went there in the first place. Like I said, it's time to move on. You know, and if the black HBCUs were they were supposed to, they should be able to get another coach in there and say, okay, he's going to take over, and we're gonna have a good year and positive. You know, they know they're failing, so they want to put it all on Dion. You know, you want to put it all on Deion Sanders and whatnot because he's decided to move on. Because everybody else have a thing. It's like when you with a female, right? And you ever notice that you ever have a female Bomani, right? Well, I know you're a suave type of brother or whatever like that. So I don't know if you ever went through this, brother. You ever have a female, bro, that you think, let's say you're sitting on the couch watching a movie, right? And she's like sitting across from you, and she don't want to sit next to you, right? And she's looking at you like you got a load in your pants and whatnot, you know? Like, what's the matter? She'll look at you like hate, you know? Because somewhere in line you fucked up. You know?
Yeah, I never had those problems.
Yeah, you know, so every once in a while you have those things. You fucked up, you know? And she look at you like, yo, man, you know, what the fuck am I doing with you? You know, what the fuck am I doing with you? I could be with somebody else one night. You're sitting there, damn, man. Then you realize, man, I'm on my way out the door. Yeah, I feel I'm on my way out the door. And guess what? 2 weeks later, you out the door, you know? But the bottom line is this, failing to realize when things are wrong, right? You know, and that's what black people are doing. You know, there's something he was saying this time he was there. You know, the people on the ground. How was he getting along with students? How was he getting along? It's like, you know, and he had stuff about the tickets and everything. So you just brushed all that off, right? And then when he decides, you know, something, it's time for me to go. Ooh, I can't believe this. I thought you were going to build Jackson State. Former NFL player. I'm sure he has ambitions to be an NFL coach one day, you know? Even though he says he doesn't. But the whole thing is, you know, black people like this, when we shit on people, and then when they say, you know something, I had enough. You know, I'm moving on. Oh, man, you like that. You didn't let us shit on you enough, you know? You didn't let us do all this stuff like that, you know? And people are like, okay, I had enough. I'm moving on. But what about the community, the cause and everything? Well, what are you contributing to the community? What are you contributing to the cause? Why is this all on me? You know, and we always hold everybody else to these super standards that nobody else wants to think. Where was Black America when Donald Trump offered $50 billion, offered $500 billion for a platinum plan? If he would have got elected, that probably could have been a reality. But you didn't want that. You were talking about Orange Man bad. You were rioting out the streets. Let me tell you something, bro, about those riots in 2020. White people, I know them. They haven't forgot that shit. You waged war against them inside this country. You let these white Antifa transvestites and shit like that lead you to a war that's coming soon in America. Why does anybody want to build a school in America? I have no idea. You know, do you understand? This is not a game. This is a game of death. This is a game of life and death. You started a war in 2020, rioting and burning this place up. They are going to have retribution soon. And you Negroes aren't prepared for that shit at all. All black people want to do is play. You want to play. This ain't playtime. People putting people's lives on the line here. Yeah, I wish the information man would jump on this. Information man, jump on the line, brother. We want to hear what you guys say. Loving the fact that got my boy Rock. I
got a dark view on. Yeah, I got them up. We got another 30 minutes, brother. 30 minutes in closing.
Anybody else want to come on? We got 30 minutes left.
And that way we can get up strong and do some other things. I'm gonna play this clip. This is one of the trailers right here.
Mm-hmm.
All my life, grinding all my life. Hustle paid the price. All my life, grinding all my life.
They came from the water.
Wow.
They had superhuman strength. He's coming for the surface world.
That can't be good.
All my life, grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle paid the price. One slice, roll the dice. All my life, grinding all my life.
Now is our time to strike. Show them who we are.
Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Rated PG-13. Only in theaters November 11th. Get tickets now.
Yes, brother, man.
That was that was just weak. That was weak. They had the girl coming in, her little self, talking about this. You know, I'm saying to myself, what was the point? Now I can even say if they made Lapita the Black Panther. You know, I can believe that. He should have come from the royal line or whatever like that. But they should have recast T'Challa.
Yeah, without a doubt. So on that note, you know what I'm saying, out of 1 to 10, give it at least. I give it a 7. I give it a 7. I mean,
I give it a 6. I give it a 6.
It's a nice, cute movie. You know what I'm saying, but it's not a warrior movie.
It's like this.
Based on what the Black Panther is supposed to be.
Check this out. Had this been the first Black Panther, where like that, and then whatever, I wouldn't be like that. But I got so amped up on the first one, right? That got you so amped up, right? And for this to just let you down like this, I'm like,
oh yeah, this was like, you can't go from up here.
That's what I'm saying. That's what the problem was.
The first one was a classic 10.
I could see if this was like the 4th installment or something like that, or a side installment, or they made her like a alternative thing, or Disney Plus,
or a spin-off female Panther.
A female spin-off of the Panther. That would have been perfect, man. But the time I saw that, man, I'm like this. Basically, when they were doing that funeral first, I felt like George Floyd. Remember George Floyd's funeral?
That's exactly how the picture looked.
George Floyd. Yeah, he looked like George Floyd. He looked like George Floyd in the mural. George Floyd. And they had these people aren't fucking. I'm like, yo, you have him looking like George Floyd, and they're burying him and whatnot, and they basically talk about why. Else said that the father is dead, so you don't have the king. You remember the father? What happened to the father? Isn't that guy that was Charles' father, right? The king that they killed. Isn't he that got blew up? How come they didn't bring him back, right? How come he had nothing to say to Shuri?
Brother, a whole lot of confusion.
He had nothing to say. How come he didn't come back in a dream or something like that?
And there you go. And you haven't even gotten to the sea people yet.
Yeah, and I'm like, God damn. I was talking about the sea people, right? I like their
their costumes.
Yeah, the flying on the wing, the wings on the leg, that was kind of corny, and this guy Namor was kind of extra.
Mighty Mexican man.
How the hell do you have a Mexican just show up in Wakanda?
Mighty flying Mexican man from the sea.
Yeah, how does a Mexican man from the sea come to Wakanda? And then they basically said, they're not the only one with vibranium. So they had vibranium, but they never showed any of their vibranium. You notice that? They said they had vibranium, but in the first movie, right? And in this movie, right? I don't remember them ever showing any real vibranium. Remember in the first one, they were mining the vibranium, they're bringing on the monorails. How come they didn't show that part? They omitted all that stuff, right? It just, it was basically like, look, man, we're fake. Another thing I want to talk about too. The costumes are bad, but they were nice, right? But you didn't see enough of it. It's like the more movies and whatnot, the Dora Milaje, they had the nice uniforms and everything. And I was expecting to see more of the color scheme. I mean, the one part when they were walking through the hallway in the central tower, that looked nice and everything. But the fight scenes, right, where they were fighting, the uniforms weren't really all that and everything. It was just not there. It was just not there. The first one, that movie, the way they had Letitia dressed, the way they had the Dora Milaje, and they had everybody, the uniforms they had on, stuff like that, was superhero quality. This is supposed to be a superhero movie, and they didn't have all that stuff like that. They didn't have all the. It just it's like they tried, but they didn't. They tried, but they didn't. It just didn't deliver. What saved the movie to me was the music and just some of the stuff. Some of the stuff. It was like I said. You watch it. In other words, when I was watching the first Black Panther,
it's a cute movie for like
right.
Girl Scouts.
Right, Girl Scouts. When I watched the first Black Panther, I couldn't wait to see it again. This was like, I was like, damn, when is this shit gonna be over? You see what I mean? See the difference? I was like, Dad, there's so much sadness in here. There's no action. There's no, it's really, they did too much storytelling. And so they go over there and get that white guy, the CIA guy and whatnot, it's what the hell was that all about? And I'm like, yo, listen, it was just like I said, man, it's the women, they had their day. They couldn't make a black. They couldn't get Ava Bunane to do it. Well, I think her thing was like a magical one, didn't fail. So since we can't basically create our own super, let's think about something, right? Black men and men in general have been held the Black Panther down for almost 60 years, right? It's been around, right? So you have black men, Black Panther, King of Wakanda, and everything like that. 60 years, right? In that time period, since there were no, do we know any black women, black female superheroes? Do you know any?
I can't think of any.
Does anybody know any black female superheroes?
Yeah, Black Girl Magic.
Black Girl Magic, right? Since they could not basically come up with a character, so we're gonna take yours. You guys share yours. That's not fair. The Black Panther is a male and whatnot. We need a character of our own and whatnot, White women got Wonder Woman, they got this, they got that. Okay, I get that, right? But they say, something, we're gonna take black, we're gonna give you a superhero. We're gonna kill off T'Challa and make it, and it just, Letitia, she was like a bag of bones, And I was like, that last scene, I was like, she was fighting, she was so small.
Nima was working her over.
Yeah, I was like, God damn, she looked so small. And she could, even with the power of the Black Panther, it didn't look believable. Because she was just so tiny. She was 100 pounds soaking wet. So I'm like, whoa, geez. So, but basically, hey, look, the black woman, Black Girl Magic.
Hey, it was more like a Kim Possible, scene.
Yeah, and all the stuff like this, where women fantasy about kicking men's ass and all stuff like that. And so I'm playing myself. Ryan Coogler, he's been the biggest disappointment to me. I like it. Remember he said he wants to do Mansa Musa? No, he should leave that shit the fuck alone. I don't trust Ryan Coogler anymore. Don't trust him. I don't trust his judgment and anything like that in any future. No. I don't trust anything Ryan Coogler got to say. He said, "Oh, women are just." He said something about women are magic. Then they got that guy, what's the Duke, talk about? Yeah, females and whatnot, man. I'm like, he said the reason why they got him quiet because they promised him a spinoff on Disney. We'll see if that ever comes back. But he was basically, man, come on, you're M'Baku, you know. You got clowned in the movie, man. They could have took one of his other warriors and throw him around, but they made a point of throwing him across the room.
Yeah, there's no strong man in the whole movie. None.
That
Well,
scene,
no strong brother anyway.
you know, so there was no Wakanda male fighters, whatever, all that the general, the Dori Milaje girl, you know, and stuff like that. So it was atrocious, you know, it was atrocious.
And
And so I'm like,
it was getting worked over on both scenes, you know. The
yeah, and I'm
first one,
saying to myself, man,
they
what
literally
the
just
hell?
destroyed Wakanda.
Yeah, and I'm like this.
Second scene,
Wakanda was supposed to be a
he's about to get
sanctuary.
ambushed by the sea people
Yeah,
until
I said Wakanda was supposed to be a
until she
sanctuary.
called the Black and Brown Coalition to say, "Let's have peace."
Just have peace. Yeah, he killed your mother. You're gonna talk about peace.
With a new lover.
Yeah, we'll walk off into the sunset, man. Everything is just black male. We're just gonna say right now, we're not needed. You know, now they saw us. Now, one place we in our fantasies, Wakanda, we're not even needed. We can't. We don't have that to escape to no more. You know, we can't escape to Wakanda anymore. But we're not needed there anymore either. Shit. It's like, damn. You know, it's like, damn, you took that one and say they gave it 4 years. All right. Y'all thought y'all was a shit. Wakanda, you know, like that. You know, I'm like, people say, oh, you think it's Wakanda? I don't want to go to Wakanda. Wakanda looks like the fucking inner city. You know, Wakanda looks like fucking public housing and shit, you know? A bunch of goofy men sitting around talking shit. You got women running everything, women paying the bills, women kicking men out of the house, women kicking men's ass and whatnot. You know, I'm like,
It's funny, man.
it's funny, man. Like I said, think about it. What you have with Wakanda has turned into public housing. You know, the ghetto. You know, women running shit, women bossing around, women kicking their ass. You know, women giving orders and everything like that. You know, that's what Wakanda turned to. You know, she didn't have to fight. She did not have to fight for the Black Panther.
I guess she threw a Baku across the room, so I guess that was good enough.
Yeah, no. You're supposed to take all the powers out of you first, right? And become mortal before you fight for the Black Panther. Then once you win, you become the Black Panther. She became the Black Panther, and then she threw M'Baku across the room. And then the one part at the end, they have M'Baku say, "I'm challenging for the Black Panther." You know, then it goes off. They're in Haiti somewhere, you know. They're in Haiti somewhere finding his son. I'm like, why did she fight? Well, how would that look? Well, a little girl like her fighting M'Baku. They said, "Whoa, man, we didn't think about that." He said, "I contested the throne of Black Panther." You know. So what's that supposed to be? Why did he go anywhere with that story? You know, it was just basically, if you think that this was a hit job on black men, you're absolutely right. It's not your imagination, folks. You know, that's just your imagination. It's not your imagination. It was real. You know, it was definitely real. Yeah, somebody said, "Man said, I promised her to cut anything about Hollywood forever. I'm done with them." Yeah. Bottom line is this: I wish we had our own motion picture industry. I like going to the movies, you know, and only a couple of months. I go see Marvel and DC movies and stuff like that. You know, very few movies getting. One movie that was good that I saw a year ago, I think it was 2 years ago, was that movie with Chris Rock, and it was like a version of Saw called Spiral. That was a good movie. I was surprised. I went to Cinema Cafe. I think it was right after. When did it come out? It came out right after COVID was restricted, lifted. That was the first movie I saw after they started opening movie theaters back up. That was actually a good movie, you know. So every once in a while, you going to the movies is, it's when you're out there, you see people out there socializing. Socialization is important. You know, unfortunately, there's nobody giving us really good stuff to go to see. You know, so M'Baku, Okoye, that's the leader, the Dore Malaje, Nakia, that's Lapita, and Ironheart, you know. That was stupid. They could have left her out of the movie, you know. My thing was they could have left her out of the movie, you know, and made let's say the person that kidnapped was Shuri. They could have recast Chala and made him the person that rescued her, you know, stuff like that, and had her bought. That would have been a good movie. That all-out war between these people, and also they should have made these people that declared war on Wakanda the enemy.
All that make too much sense, man.
You know, what is it about black people? What is it about black people? We always got to sue for peace. You know, we got to sue for peace. We always got to be peaceful. We always got to be loving. All this kind of nonsense and everything like that. Just really, really, really bad. You know, really, really bad. So, all right. So, I keep throwing a lot of damage stories. It is hard. Yeah, like I said, it's really tough. You know. Ross said, I currently work with youth in Liberia with emphasis on high schoolers in the area of entrepreneurial development, corporate services, business coaching about helping under 21-year-old startups. You know, that's my good guy Ross. You know, always up for the fight. You know, Hollywood is full of perverts. I'm not surprised. They're happy to world part. Yeah, Hollywood's a bunch of weirdos. We're not going to get any place where Hollywood, you know, and stuff like that, you know. But that's what it is, man. Black people are stuck on Hollywood. You know, we're stuck in this matrix and everything. And the worst thing to do is we pretend like we're not. You know, and when like me, I had nothing to say about Kanye West. I have nothing to say about any of these people. Somebody put a thing about Jim Jones not married. His wife's 50 years old. Girlfriend's 50 years old. He hasn't married her yet. I don't care about that. You know, I'm not going to talk about that. I'm done talking about stuff that doesn't pertain to nation building. You know, if it doesn't pertain to nation building, I don't want to.
Yeah, it reminded me of those videos before. There was like, is this? What does this have to do with Pan-Africanism? What does this have to do with Pan-Africanism?
This
person's supposed to be the prince, breaking it down.
Well, hell, I can't. Why? Because that gets clicks, likes, and views. You know,
talking about a crusty white devil.
Mm-hmm. We don't care. He's a white man. He's a fucking white beast. You know, so what the fuck we care? You know, what the fuck we care? You know?
Soon done.
Yeah, those of us who like this, we actually believe. Bomani and I actually believe this shit. You know. So we're not gonna sit here and talk about racism, white supremacy. What the fuck do you expect? You're in America.
Yeah, I mean, they expect these people just to us. I mean,
people act like they're shocked. Like, damn, we got racism here. You know, no shit, man. It's called living in America.
Thank you, Sherlock.
Like, no shit, Sherlock. You know, America racist because see the white people, blah blah blah. Yo, geez, thank you, Sherlock. Thanks for telling us that. We would have never known that, Dr. Umar.
Did it take all your degrees to figure that one out?
Yeah. I got 5 degrees. It told me that there's racism in America. No shit, nigga. You know. But that's what it is, man. Just tired of people. Just like I said, people ain't serious about this nation. If after everything you don't feel like nationhood is a fucking way, I don't know what the hell they're talking about. If you don't think about building Pan-Africanism and black nationalism or not, if you don't think that's the way, black academia is against this. You know, why? Because they're paymasters, right? The people who fund black colleges don't want things. One thing I liked about Donald Trump, he didn't have any strings attached. We could have took that money for HBCUs, opened up branches all over the African continent and say, yo, we're good. But we didn't do that because we ain't got no goddamn no grand plan to liberate our people. And then we're gonna get mad at somebody because they don't want to coach your dusty ass school. You know, it's amazing. Oh man, he's a sellout. When like there's some big plan out there which we're all on code with, you know. You know, there's no freaking plan. It's like Black America is like do or die, every man for himself. That's the reality of Black America in 2022. Niggas will sell you out in a freaking minute. Niggas got no loyalty, no allegiance, no nothing. All everybody cares about themselves, their what they're doing, and everything like that. Nobody think about the long term thing. You know, like I said, I'm sacrificing a lot for what I'm doing in Africa. You know, I don't brag about it. Don't talk about it. You know, you want to join? Hey, fine. You know, so I'm in this for the long haul. You know, I've given more. People say over the years, Colin, I got people that fucking stole my ideas, all my stuff about Liberia when I going out there doing their own thing. Oh yeah, I'm an expert on Liberia when I steal all my shit. When I don't care, I do care, but I don't care. Taking my talking points, all the stuff that I've learned over the years about science, 30-something years of studying science and nation building and stuff like that, geopolitics and everything. I've given so much to this movement. And I never asked a dime from anybody. I do this because I'm for real about this. So that's what I'm venting about tonight, you know. So people come up here and oh yeah, you know, talking that nonsense when I want to hear it. So
yes, family. 10 minutes to go.
You'll see the friggin' result of when the end product is done. Okay, what we're doing is real. You know, I don't overpromise. I don't say I'm going to do something and I'm not going to do it and everything. I say everything has a season. Everything has a time. You know, and so it tells me that what we need is we don't need the masses. We just need real dedicated people for this movement. We have a community in Ghana. We're going to build one in Liberia. We're going to build them in Angola. You know, the one in Ghana is a prototype. You know, and that's what we're talking about. Why? Because we're going to be connected to these HBCUs and all stuff like this, and we're going to build that. Mike, tell us about that technology. What your vision of a technology school we're talking about?
Yes, when we talk about business and technology school or center, that's two things. The center operate as a school, so you're literally just training all aspects of technology, from just electrical, electronics, computer systems, aviation, automobile. You know, that form of technology, and you literally selling technical services, and you're putting your best young minds in front of these projects, whether it's technical support, or whether it's business support, or whether it's just running the day-to-day operation of our Africa tours, investments, and real estate development. You know, so you're infusing the world of technology and business so you can just get things done more efficiently. But yeah, it's it goes beyond those things, because you have enough land to expand into other things and just be out there. Modern day high-tech farming technology, engineering, civil engineering,
business, science, and everything like that. We want young minds basically
building your own marina,
building together on projects and everything. That's going to create. We say, what is a culture? What we need is a culture of nation building. Okay, let's talk about that. You know, we can have dance and all traditional dance, all that, but let's talk about the culture of learning, the culture of exploration, the culture of wonder, the culture of learning, a culture of reading, a culture of comprehension, a culture of building. You know, a culture of working together, a culture of building Black families. Why don't we talk about that? That's how you cultivate something like that. Why? Because this is the sort of civilization, society we want to build. You know, because we once had a community that really built each other, relied on each other at one time, because we had no choice. We've gotten away from that. You know, it was all hands on deck. All hands on deck. It was all hands on deck in Black America at one time. Let me tell you something about the black men of North Carolina, man. These are the strongest black men that ever lived. Them black men came from North Carolina and whatnot, The white boys didn't know what to do with themselves. They went on Brooklyn docks and said, what? Out there at 5 o'clock in the morning, work all day, making pockets full of money or not. My Uncle Dennis, he made so much money, he was able to give my Aunt Shirley and my Uncle Albert, his brother-in-laws, loans on their house. That's how we got the house in South Jamaica, Queens, And my father's mother's side of the family moved right next door to them. That's how I was born, My father's side of the family moved right next door. He came to North Carolina later, whatever like that, when he was a teenager, and met my mother. These black men were longshoremen. They were the strongest men. And the bottom line is this: the union said, "Man, we got to get them in the union. These guys are too good." You know why? Because these men were taking or making money, and they would go back and build their own communities. It used to be a thing where you don't pay a black man enough because you don't want him to be able to afford to live next to you. The black men from North Carolina said, "Okay, we'll take Southeast Queens. We'll take Bed-Stuy. We'll take Long Island." They were buying houses out there starting in the 50s, buying houses out there. The white people moving out to Levittown and Long Island, and we were moving into their communities. Roosevelt, Rochdale, all that stuff like that was once white and then turned black. And bottom line is, these black families, whatnot, we didn't have our nation, but those communities were like our nation. And then we had our Caribbean brothers and sisters who came up and joined us. Came from Haiti, Barbados, Jamaica. And they bought houses out there, and that's how we all grew up together. So, and we even had, I don't know if you had this, but we had dark-skinned Indians in our community.
Yes, absolutely.
We had motherfuckers. They were talking the same shit, eating the same shit we are, playing handball, double dutch, everything like that. And I'm sitting there like, oh yeah, girl. I remember there was one girl. She had long hair. She's like, yeah, I'm going to India. I was like, well, India? Yeah, we're going to India when the India, whatever like that. We didn't know. We were the Indian girls were wearing their hair in cornrows and some everything. Living in a black community. Living in a black culture, the community. I was like, damn, you had Indian dudes out there, talking about, nigga, playing balling, playing handball and shit like that, or like that, just running with us and everything. I was like, man, this nigga's from India and whatnot, but they moved into our community, Dudes from friggin', the real dark Indians, Move right into the hood and whatnot and basically talk the same shit as black, you know what I'm saying? You would think they were just black. I was like, oh man, then we realized, okay, we're from Africa, they're from India. It doesn't even matter. Dudes are talking the same stuff, talking the same lingo, same language. So don't tell me Black America don't have a culture. Don't tell me we don't have a culture. People came in, they were eating the same foods we were eating and whatnot, everything, listen to our music, everything. Rapping, everything,
That's it, family. It's serious business, family. Serious business. Your Wakanda Forever experience comes to an end.
Yeah.
And I hope you enjoy the Afrikstan Analysis and a different variation and going off topic a few times, which is all relevant.
I want to emphasize, bro, that when we talk about Afrikstan nation or whatever like that, we're not talking about a whole ass nation state. You think that, I don't know, you're trying to clown or whatever. The bottom line is this: what we're trying to do is we're saying we're building municipalities, right? And eventually we're gonna have municipal centers, right? That where you can point on the map and you can see our towns and stuff like that on a map. You can pull up on Google Earth where like that areas where we can control, you know, and we're gonna have all this stuff like that. We build smart cities and stuff like that, you know. That's what the Asians are doing. Let me tell you something about the Asians. You told me something interesting today. You said a lot of people want to go, but they're concerned about the infrastructure and stuff like that. Let me tell you something. The majority of black people are not living in the slums in the cities anymore. They're living in middle America. You know, even the hood black people, right, are living in like residential suburban areas, not like the same it was before where people live in tenement houses. That's not the black America anymore. When you talk about building in Africa, when you got people that got transportation, healthcare, and all the stuff like that, the ease of modern living and everything, and they can go out and pleasure themselves by, you know, like we have like local casinos here. We got beaches, parks, and theme parks and everything like that. People, that's a lot to give up when you talk about going out. So therefore, that's tremendous opportunity when we talk about building in Africa, you know?
Yes, family, you build the things you need.
You know,
you build the infrastructure you need.
We need all the infrastructure. That's what we're about. Building infrastructure. And we basically have that. We have a municipality. You know why it's so important?
There you go.
Because we'll have our own tax base.
And then you can have your Wakanda Forever for real.
You can have a real Wakanda Forever, you know, by building your own municipality where you have your revenue department, your tax department, and your commissioners and everything like that, you know, your magistrate. That's what we're talking about. We build those all across the African continent, right? And then basically it's just like one big association state, whatever like that across the continent. So it's not like so anybody asks what we're doing it. We already have it established in Ghana and soon to be in Liberia too.
There you go, brother. And that's a perfect point to end at, family. Hope you enjoy a wonderful Wakanda Forever special and analysis with us talking about nation building and giving you different perspective collectively and connected to these things. So there you go, family. So Kala Genesis just broke it down. You know, we're gonna build our own, our own
Wakandas
fire, and bring it in more realistic. But yes, so family, everyone, you take care, and the journey continues. Good night, man. Take care,
brother. Black power, Black African power. Peace. Wakanda Forever. Wakanda Forever. All right, brother.